Hello, hello. Welcome back to ThreadTalk. I'm your host, Teresa.
And I'm Denver. This is episode 42.
42, and happy September 1st to those who celebrate.
Well, the time that this comes out, way past September 1st.
No, next week, right?
It'd
next
be like
Tuesday.
September 10th, I think.
Yeah, September 9th or something, yeah.
10th, yeah.
Well, happy September to all those who celebrate. It's the best time of year.
It's our first September filming day.
I'm very excited. Do you guys have your pumpkin spice lattes, your boo baskets? Denver hasn't made me a boo basket yet.
I don't know what a boo basket is, but Teresa's excited for fall.
Yes, it's 30 degrees outside right now in Toronto, and I'm dressing like it's 15 degrees outside.
It's 15 degrees inside.
Yes.
Our apartment is cranked to freezing.
Yes.
You would think it's an apocalypse out there. It's wintertime.
That's the way I like it. I like to freeze.
I'm wearing hoodies to bed.
No, you're not.
I know, but I'm wearing a sweater right now.
Yeah, I love it. This is the vibe. We have Luna with us if you're watching on YouTube.
Yep, if you're on YouTube, you got a special treat because Luna stayed on the shelf for once.
We'll see how long she stays.
I'm going to give it 7.5 minutes.
I think less, probably.
As soon as she's done cleaning her leg, she's going to be like, I'm out.
Yep. So today...
Theme? What do we got? What's the theme?
Are we calling it what we have in our Google Doc?
Well, I think so.
Okay.
But they will know at this point.
Okay.
Whether or not we changed it once we say what it is.
At this moment, we are naming this theme When Shit Hits the Fan.
I like that one.
I know you came up with it.
I come up with all of them.
So I have some actually really good stories. I'm really excited. Some of them are long, just like you guys like them.
Whoa, no way, guys.
Updates.
Teresa's got some long ones.
Yep. And yeah, so we don't really have any happy ones in this one, I don't think. So if you're prepared for... just be prepared to be angered.
Just shit's hitting the fan. I don't know. I don't know if mine, I would say, would all make you angry. But they're not the happiest ones that we have. No. So
most people like the drama, though. So if you're here, you want the drama. You came to the right place.
We're here for the drama.
No, drama.
Man, I can't carry tune to save my life. So,
all right, who wants to go first?
I can go first, unless you're gonna veto me.
No, that's fine.
You always like, who wants to go first, and then I'll be like, I'll go first, and then she's like, well, I'm going first anyway.
I'll let you go this time.
All right. Well, mine's gonna be coming from, am I the asshole? Mm-hmm. Would I be the asshole if I stopped paying the utilities for my sister's apartment? So, I, 26 female, and currently a stay-at-home mom, but my husband, 27 male, makes a comfortable salary that we can still afford to take care of our baby, as well as help out my family without it being too much trouble on the finances. My younger sister, 19 female, we'll call her Cece, is going to college in another state for uni and is currently a sophomore. She got accepted into a university with a really good art program, but couldn't afford to dorm and pay for her school's tuition with her loan and savings. So my husband and I bought her a decent apartment, paid for full in cash, in a good area so that she can commute to school. It's technically under our name, but we let her treat it as it's her own, so she can feel independent. We pay for everything, including the utilities, even down to the Wi-Fi. So she lives there rent-free and is able to save her money that she makes from working part-time and focus on school.
Wow.
But the other day, I found out that she's not even living in the apartment and is instead living with her boyfriend. She apparently has been for the last school year and just didn't tell anyone. And she's also renting out the apartment to one of her friends. Oh. And we have basically been paying for a stranger to live there. I only found this out after a package I ordered for her got returned to me. It was a wellness package with some snacks and stuff. Usually I Amazon things over, but I actually packed this one myself, so I sent it with UPS, and then it got returned. Cece's justification for this was that she, quote, needs the money for her graduation trip that she's saving up for, which is literally in years, so I don't know why it's such a big deal yet. But my husband and I don't want to be paying for her friend to live there while she lives for free with her boyfriend anyways. I don't want to kick Cece's friend out of the apartment since she's an innocent party in this and leave her stranded, but maybe if I take her on as a renter, we can work this out separately. Would I be the asshole if I cut Cece off financially?
No. No, what is she doing? She's taking advantage and making a profit off of you.
Right?
Like, what?
Like, there's always like, okay, like, I'm going to spoil my kid because I can. But now this is like aunt and uncle position. And there's always like, well, I'm going to help out my family because I can. And then this is like the worst case scenario that the person that you're helping me out happens to actually be like the entitled, spoiled type.
Yeah.
And not the appreciative.
Exactly.
Like, I understand I have privilege and whatnot. But no, I'm going to go live with my boyfriend and then I'm going to go rent out the apartment for money that I'd never even paid for. And I'm not even going to like ask my aunt and uncle or anything.
And I'm going to make a profit. Oh my God. Like, that's actually so entitled.
Right?
That's insane. That's so selfish. Like,
imagine baby Andrew and we're like, things are going well and we want to help out.
Yeah.
And we buy him a whole apartment near his university. And then we come to find out that he's like, yeah, I don't live there. I just rent it to one of my bros.
no, I would be livid.
I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, no.
I'd be like, bro, I could have put my money somewhere else. I didn't put my money into this apartment for some random person that I have no affiliation with. I don't know them at all.
Sorry, what was the question? Am I the asshole for making her pay utilities?
That's how they. The title is, would I be the asshole if I stopped paying the utilities for my sister's apartment?
I think they're just saying utilities as everything, maybe.
I guess.
Yes.
I think the title should be, would I be the asshole if I stopped paying for my sister's nephew's apartment?
Yeah.
Or no, sister. Oh, sorry. It's not nephew. It's sister. Younger sister. So.
Okay.
That would be like, there's a decent age gap between.
So like
you
for my
and
sister.
Your sister. Yeah. No, for some reason I had niece in my head. But no, it's sister.
Okay.
Yeah. Still. Insane.
That. No, yeah, you should definitely. I don't know how she didn't see this coming. And Luna's leaving.
How long was that, guys? I don't even think that was 5 minutes.
Okay, was she trying to hide it from you guys?
Well, she didn't tell her, so I think so.
So she knew she was doing something wrong then,
right?
Or was she just like did maybe just not come up and she was like, oh, this is fine. I feel like there's a difference,
right?
But still, regardless, you have every right to cut her off.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
She's done. You're done.
Okay, so we got an edit. Just to clarify, I feel like doing so might make me the asshole because she's my little sister.
No.
And without my help, she wouldn't have a safety net to fall back on, especially if her and her boyfriend broke up. Okay, I mean, that's kind of fair. But,
okay, cross that bridge when you get there, though.
But I at this point would be like, you abused your privilege, and now you've lost it. Now you get, like, if you're going to live, like, if you were living with your boyfriend majority of the time, and the apartment's there, and it's empty, I wouldn't have any issues.
I was going to say that as well.
Like, that's your apartment to stay there whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
And if you're deciding to spend most nights of the week at your boyfriend's house, whatever, 5 to 7, whatever it is, and then you come back to your apartment whenever you want, all right, that's one thing.
But also, why wouldn't you just spend it at your apartment? Like, why wouldn't he come?
Right?
Because it's free.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sure he's not getting his living expenses for free, like, covered.
I don't know. So one person in the comments said we shouldn't make assumptions on these stories, but I feel like that's literally our job. So my assumptions would be like, either he's not really that good of a boyfriend and he's like, oh, well, you got to come to me kind of guy. Yeah. That's my assumption.
Maybe.
But I've been told I shouldn't make assumptions, but I like to make stories up in my head because it's fun. Well, whatever. But then if the apartment was empty, I would be like, yeah, that's your safety net. Like, if you don't want to sleep there every night, you don't have to sleep every night. You want to sleep over a girl's night, you want to sleep over a boyfriend's night.
I think that's fine.
Do what you want to do.
It's your life.
But the fact that you're renting it out to make a profit off of something that you don't own. No, that's
when you're done.
That's not okay. That's where you're done. And I'm like, okay, well, like, your apartment privilege is now over. Mm-hmm. I hope everything works out with your boyfriend.
Yes.
Because you apparently you are eliminating your own fallback plan. What happens, even in the current situation, she's renting it out to her friend. What happens if she breaks up with her boyfriend?
Yeah, exactly.
She's gonna come back to the friend and be like, "Oh, you gotta get it out." She's
would.
She's already eliminated her fallback.
I mean, she probably would say that to her friend. She seems entitled enough to
Very
do so.
entitled. Yeah. Yeah. So I got an update for you.
Okay.
So Wednesday morning of this week, I did what a lot of the commenters have advised me on. My husband and I drove over to the apartment without giving Cece a heads up. I decided against leaving a note on the door and ended up just knocking on it about 10 in the morning to talk to her friend. You guys called it. It wasn't actually her friend. It was just one of her classmates in her economics course that she'd been renting it out without a formal agreement. Let's call him Jay. Jay's a trans man, but Cece was using his previous pronouns as a half-truce, I guess, for telling us about him. Anyways, Jay has been paying Cece about half the market value of the rent in the area, $1,500 a month, as the average ones go for about $3,000.
Whoa.
He let my husband and I in to talk, and everything in the apartment was in order. All the furniture that I had bought Cece prior to her move-in was still there and in good shape. Nothing seemed broken or unkept. My husband and I talked about the situation with him, and Jay told us that he hadn't known that Cece wasn't actually the owner of the place and was just trusting her in her role as a friend. I'm letting my husband work out the details of drawing up a formal rental agreement because I'm busy dealing with Cece and trying to get her to repay us back for the rent. My mom had to get involved and ended up checking my sister's savings account, as Cece still uses accounts that my mom has set up on since she was a minor. She hasn't done this prior because she doesn't like to invade our privacy, but she finally had enough of Cece's unwillingness to be forthcoming, plus her lies about the whole situation. Based on the deposit that my mom can access from over the past couple months, Cece has been depositing the full $1,500 of Jay's rent into her account each month. In total, her savings are about $32,000, with $18,000 being from the rent.
What?
I'm not sure if she's claiming this on her taxes, but honestly, I don't even want to bother with finding out. I just want her to pay us back for the year of lies and deceit. My mom has already taken $8,000 from the savings account, since the account still has my mom's name on it, and transferred it to my husband's and I's joint account, which obviously pissed Cece off. She threatened legal action for theft, but my mother-in-law, who's a divorce attorney, put us in contact with one of her old friends who's a real estate attorney in the area, and essentially had her explain to Cece we could hit her back with over this illegal rent situation. All of this to say, Cece's going to start paying us back in exchange for us keeping further legal actions out of consideration. But we're going to have a family friend actually draw up a contract to solidify this agreement so we can get the money back. Thank you guys so much for your suggestions and support. It really helped me and my husband come up with a solution for this situation. And in turn, I think this will be good for us as it shows we have supportive parents/in-laws, and finally will give Cece the opportunity to actually acknowledge her wrongdoings, which is probably going to be a first.
$32,000 in savings?
I'm sorry, I thought you were saving up for a trip.
I thought she was broke. She said, oh, I need to save up. Like, I'm broke.
Yeah. Like only $18,000 from the rent. So you still had another, 14,000 that was just good savings? Listen, I will be the first to admit that my money financials might be a little bit skewed because I was raised up. I never had more than $1,000 in my savings at any time. So I'm over here thinking like, oh, I already had $14,000 in my bank account and I need to save up more for a trip. Like that just seems outrageous to me.
Okay. It depends where you are in life, I feel, but $14,000
well, for a college student. For
a college student is insane. Like that is an insane amount of money. So like I don't know. I saw this TikTok that was like, what is your bank account zero? Because my bank account zero is like actually $50,000. Like when I go below 50,000, I feel like I'm at zero and I need to actually start saving. And other people were like, oh, maybe like 2,000 or whatever. So it's like a different zero for people apparently.
Mine's zero.
But I know, right?
Mine is always negative 300 is my zero. When the number's red, that's my zero.
I know. So
I feel like your zero is like 5K.
Yeah, okay, so with me,
or at least when I first met you,
I've had a job since I was literally 13 years old, and most of my savings came from that period between when I was like 13 and 18, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then I went abroad and spent a lot of money on my trip to the Netherlands for 6 months. So, I would say like it's different for me because I had 5 or 6 years of like I was able to save up. And so that became my zero. Like, that became money that I did not touch and I have not touched and I will not touch until I don't know, buy a house or something, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even consider that money like my checking. I don't know. It's different.
Right.
I feel like it's different.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like, for her, she's claiming that she's broke, right?
Yeah.
She has $32,000 in her account.
It's like, what is your zero?
Yeah. So for me, I would never be like, I'm broke. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, she's definitely taking advantage of people who are being insanely generous. Insanely generous. And I'm so happy that they're actually making her pay her back instead of just cutting her off.
Yeah. And I'm very happy that the mom is on their side.
Yeah.
Because usually what happens is like golden child syndrome can do no wrong, even in the parent's eyes. Mm-hmm. But the fact that her mom is like, what the hell is this? This isn't how I raised you. You're not the golden child. It just shows that she's got the younger sibling entitledness, but that's not because of her mom's fault. So
yeah, exactly.
It's like, where did that come from?
So I have a question. Are they still renting out the place to Jay? Was that his name?
Yeah. So they said that they're going to draft up an actual rental agreement. It didn't say it in there, but I could have swore it said it somewhere where that I rented that the money is going to be deposited right into their account. From Jay's going to start paying them directly.
That would make sense, right?
Maybe they edited this since the first time I read it. But yeah, that they renting up a formal drafting agreement and then Jake is going to make the deposits into their bank account.
Yeah, I think...
For Jay.
That would make sense.
You know what would be ultimate karma would eventually if she breaks up with her boyfriend, stops living with him, and then she's like, now I have no apartment to go to.
Yeah.
And she could ask to sleep on Jay's couch and Jay's going to be like, no, I pay this rent directly from your sister because you lied to me. No, you're not allowed to stay here. And then she just ruined up her backup plan. Because like I said, like if she's sleeping at her boyfriend and the apartment's staying empty, I don't really have any issue with that.
Yeah.
The fact that you rented it out as if you owned it and took the money yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's where you fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, not acceptable.
Yeah.
All right. On to you.
Yeah. While home-cooked meals are undoubtedly better for your health, it's not always easy to find time to make them. Luckily, HelloFresh simplifies the process by handling the meal planning, grocery shopping, and most of the prep, making it faster and more convenient to whip up dinner without the hassle. While summer days are in the rearview mirror and busier days are ahead, now's the perfect time to save time and money when it comes to your dinner routine. Skip the meal planning and grocery store lines and cut down on food waste with HelloFresh's convenient doorstep delivery and pre-measured ingredients.
You guys know Teresa and I love getting takeout, but we cannot tell you how many times HelloFresh has saved us from those urges. We love how there's a variety each week in the menu, and it keeps our taste buds on their toes. Every time I bring that HelloFresh box home, I get super excited for the next week of awesome meals. And thanks to HelloFresh, we have an awesome offer for you guys. Free breakfast for life. You just have to go to HelloFresh.com/free ThreadTalk. One free breakfast item per box when your subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life. Just have to go to HelloFresh.com/free ThreadTalk. I'll also leave the link down below so it's super easy for you guys. Thanks for supporting the show by supporting HelloFresh. Now, back to the stories.
Moving on to me, this one comes from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for asking my husband to cancel his bros only trip to help me with our newborn after he promised he would? This situation has caused a lot of tension between my husband and me, and now I'm questioning whether I'm being unreasonable. I, 30 female, gave birth to our first child, Olivia, 2 months ago. Being a first-time mom has been both beautiful and overwhelming. My husband, Jake, 32 male, was incredibly supportive during the pregnancy and promised that after Olivia was born, he would be there for me every step of the way, especially during those challenging first few months. Before Olivia was born, Jake and his friends have been planning a bros-only trip for the summer, a week-long vacation to a cabin in the mountains for hiking, fishing, and bonding. When the trip was being discussed, I reminded Jake that Olivia would only be a few months old, and we would be deep in the newborn phase. He reassured me that if things got too tough, he would cancel the trip to help me out, and I trusted him. Now that Olivia is here, things have been harder than I anticipated. Between the sleepless nights, breastfeeding struggles, and just trying to adjust to motherhood, I've been feeling overwhelmed. Jake has been helpful, but I can tell he's excited about this trip, which is coming up next month. Last week, I asked Jake if he could consider canceling the trip, reminding him of his promise. I told him that I'm struggling and that having him gone for a whole week would be really tough on me. He seemed surprised and a bit hurt that I was asking him to cancel. He said that he's been looking forward to this trip for months and that he needs a break too. He also pointed out that his parents live nearby and could help if I needed support while he was away. I understand that Jake needs a break and wants to spend time with his friends, but I can't help feeling like this is a time when I really need him by my side. I tried to explain that while I appreciate his parents' help, it's not the same as having him here. Jake said that I'm being unfair by asking him to cancel the trip after all the planning that went into it, and that I need to trust him to make sure I'm supported even if he's not physically there. Now, we're at a bit of a standoff. Some of my friends think I should let him go, saying that it's important for him to have some time away, especially after all the stress of becoming a new dad. But others agree that it's too soon for him to take off for a week, and that he should prioritize being home with me and Olivia. So, am I the asshole for asking my husband to cancel his bros-only trip to help me with our newborn after he promised he would?
No, you're not the asshole, but I'm kind of on both sides. I can see both sides of the argument. I'm definitely leaning, I'm on her side. I am on her side for sure, but I can kind of see some of the other side as well. You know, in some stories you're like, no, you're the absolute asshole, dead set, 100% on one side. I feel like I can understand the other side of the trip, but your wife takes priority. And if she says no, then what she needs you, then that's it. That's the end of the conversation. But I
understand his anger, I guess, sadness maybe.
I don't get that.
So what do you understand then?
Just like okay, like I understand him saying like, oh, my parents should come help out. That's okay if she's okay with it.
Right.
If she's comfortable with your parents coming to help out, because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, where's the family support system? Like, it's not so unreasonable for him to try to plan a boys' trip. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he should have never done it or anything. It's a little premature. I think 2 months is not long enough. And I think you were planning it before the baby was even born, which I think that's dumb. You're planning it before you actually get into the situation.
Yes.
Like, it could be one thing if it was like, okay, it's 2 months in and a boys' weekend, but you're going for a whole week. And you've been planning this before you even knew what dad life was like. So I'm like, if you were planning it after, that means that you'd be planning it with your wife's consent while you guys are both going through the struggle. So that would be a little bit of different circumstances. But this was a pre-planned affair, and I feel like that changes it. But then asking for, your parents to come over and support is not terrible for grandma and grandpa to come. But if your wife's not comfortable with it, because it's not her parents, and it would be a different between like also like going for the boys' week, it's like maybe that's not such a terrible thing if your wife has the support. But nowhere in the story does she say like, my parents offered to come or something like that. Like, I'm sure everybody would be more comfortable with like their parents helping out in certain relationships. So I don't think it would be terrible if that was the case and he was planning the boys' trip. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the boys' trip is like oh my God, that's an absolute no. I just think that their family dynamic is in the right situation for that.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I understand his disappointment for, I don't know, like, last minute, like, not last minute, but, like, a month before, like, he's been so excited and whatever. And now she's like, I actually need you. Like,
yeah,
but,
see, I'm not on board with that disappointment because I'm also thinking, like, you shouldn't have planned this trip before you had the baby, before you knew what it was like. So that's why, like, I don't really have sympathy for that on my part, because I'm like, you shouldn't have got all hyped up for this, because
he let himself get excited.
You let yourself get excited.
Yeah.
You're planning something before reality actually hit you in the face of that. Like, I can understand being like 2 months in and being like, oh, I feel like I need a weekend. And like, and that's fair as a parent, but it depends on how much the guy is actually doing.
Yeah.
Because the reality is the mom does the majority of the work. Because, it's their little baby. In a sense, it's our baby, but you gotta
You're doing the breastfeeding.
it came out of you. I feel like the mom wants to hold it majority of the time. The mom feels like the overwhelming parent. Like the guy's there to help and support and hold it, but I feel like the mom, in most cases, is doing majority of the work, even if the dad's there by her side the whole time. Mm-hmm. In a sense, so I can understand like that, but like it depends on the levels of how much parenting he actually had been doing. And I don't think it's unreasonable for him to want like a weekend break or something like that, because it's a lot of work. But you have to make sure that you have the support system there. Your wife's okay with it. And then the next weekend or the weekend before, it's fair for the mom to get a break as well. It's not just, oh, I'm a dad, I'm overwhelmed, it's hard. No, both parents, no matter what.
I'm sure she's overwhelmed too.
Yeah. Like, so are you working out a balance where it's like, hey, is she getting a girls' weekend? A getaway weekend or something like that? Or are you only thinking about yourself? Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at, where I'm like, okay, maybe it's not crazy unreasonable for him to think like this, like to want a boys' week or something. I think the where it went wrong is like, one, don't pre-plan a freaking boys' trip before you even got into pregnancy. Two, your wife has to be okay with it. Why would you book a trip where you think you have the understanding like, oh, if you don't want me to, I can cancel last minute? You don't plan trips for months for a week-long cottage rental or something like that and then cancel it last minute.
Yeah, because then you're going to be disappointed. Like, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, then you're going to be disappointed. So, and then like, yeah. So I'm 100% on the wife's side.
Yes.
I'm just saying I don't think it's unreasonable that
he was trying to find an alternative.
One of the parents wants a getaway weekend or something. But it says like a week.
Oh, okay.
Week's a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Top comment. You were uncomfortable for 9 months. You went through labor. You are now breastfeeding. What the fuck does he need a break from? He was a giant asshole when he even planned this trip. He was a bigger asshole when he lied about canceling. And he's a giant, gaping, insanely awful asshole now that he thinks it's unreasonable for you to not want him to be gone for an entire week when you've already felt overwhelmed. It doesn't seem like you'd want his parents to stay for that week while he's gone. This made me furious. I hope this is his only misstep, though I doubt it. Not the asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm just a little softer on the asshole wording because, I'm making assumptions that we don't fully know what their parenting relationship has been like. If it's the typical mom's doing everything and guy thinks he needs a weekend away because it's tough.
Yeah,
you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But we don't know exactly how much he's been doing.
Yeah.
So
no, but it's true. The reality is she had to be pregnant for 9 months. She had to give the birth. She is the one breastfeeding. So I feel like there's no amount that the guy can do to make up for that.
Okay. The only thing I can think of where it's like, maybe the guy has been doing so much that he needs 2 weeks off. Like maybe he has been the one who has been doing the overwhelming amount of baby care. Like he's been getting up all the nights. He has been doing like the bottle feeding. He has been doing like 90% of the diaper changes. Maybe hypothetically he has been the one. Rare circumstance. Maybe, but but hear me where I'm going with this. He's rare circumstance where he's doing 80% of the baby parenting, right? And mom was like, "Hey, I gave birth and like I'm over here, like you know what I mean? Like it's a flip swap. It's flipped.
Yeah.
If that even is the case, where he's done so much that he deserves a week-long break, wouldn't it be fair to say like your wife isn't equipped to handle it by herself? If you've done so much that you deserve the break,
that is a
then how can you leave her alone for a week because she will be underprepared for that, which is so rare. It's probably not the case, but I'm like, the only way I can see it where you overwhelmingly deserve a week off is if you've been doing so much, and if you have been, then she is not equipped to handle it once you've gone.
Spitting facts.
Yeah.
Okay, there's an edit. Hey everyone, I just wanted to give a quick update after reading through most of the replies. I was honestly overwhelmed by the amount of support and understanding I received. Thank you so much to everyone who took the time to respond. Your kind words and thoughtful advice really helped me feel less alone in this situation. A lot of you suggested that I should also take a week off, letting Jake stay with Olivia to get a break for myself. I really appreciate the sentiment behind that suggestion, but there are a couple of reasons why it's not realistic for me right now. First of all, I'm breastfeeding, so being away from Olivia for that long will be really difficult logistically. But beyond that, and this is something I know I need to work on, I just don't feel comfortable being away from my baby yet. I know it's not healthy to feel like I can't have her out of my sight, but I can't help it. I guess it's just that new mom anxiety that's really hard to shake. I've been debating whether or not to show Jake this thread. I'm worried that reading it might hurt his feelings, but I'm definitely going to have another conversation with him about everything. I'm willing to compromise and let him go on the trip, but I think a whole week is just too much. I'm leaning towards suggesting that he limit the trip to a maximum of 3 nights, so he can still have some time away with his friends, but not be gone for an entire week. I'll update again after we've talked. Thank you again for all the support, everyone. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, I don't think that's unhealthy to like not want to let your eyes off your baby.
I think that's normal.
I would feel the exact same way. So I got nothing there. And yeah, I do want to say that like for both parents, I feel like it could be healthy and beneficial to get a break.
Yeah.
Like, yes, a week is too long. Honestly, for me, I think 3 days is too long. But I think it could be if they were able to work at the dynamic of having the support. I think it would be beneficial if one of them feels like he needs a little bit of a break. I think it could be healthy for him to take a weekend break, as long as it's not an argument. It's a mutual decision. Like, I think it could be healthy for him to go to the cottage, spend 2 days with the boys. Maybe he will miss his baby after that. Gives like kind of like recharging the batteries a bit. 2 months in, if it's nonstop 3-hour feedings, you're waking up all night, it can wear down on you. Mm-hmm. And being able to like take a weekend break away and kind of like recharge those batteries, you could come back depending on your mindset, because it could go the opposite way. You could be like, I really like not having a baby around me, and like then you resent your baby when you get back. But it could be healthy when you get back, be like, I missed him. I'm fresh. I got 2 nights of like really good sleep away, and it's like, it's fresh.
You're recharged. Yeah.
Recharged. So I feel like there is an aspect there where, hey, maybe that is a healthy choice for your relationship versus you're like been grinding, you're in the ruts, you're taking care of the baby. It's boom, 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 never any break. You're kind of like resenting that baby after a while, where that could be healthy. Mm-hmm. But like I'm saying at the same time, like it could be healthy for her to take a little break too, if she was comfortable with it. Obviously, she's at the point where she's like, I that doesn't sound good to me at all. Mm-hmm. That sounds terrible, being away from my baby. Like, I am where I want to be. But I could totally see there being like a healthy aspect to taking a weekend break away. Mm-hmm. Because having a baby is hard. I just think everything about how this boy's week-long trip has been planned all wrong. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't have been pre-planned before the baby was even there or anything. But that's why I'm just like, I don't think I'm 100% he's the asshole because he even had the idea of the getting away a little bit. I feel like that could honestly be a little bit healthy.
Right.
Like at the same time, like, okay, you've been raising the baby 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Maybe it's healthy that the couple takes a weekend. Like, are you able to leave the baby with grandparents?
Yeah, yeah.
Or aunts and uncles or something like that?
Well, she's saying she doesn't want to be a part of the...
She doesn't want to be. But I'm sure some couples might feel like after like 3 months of nonstop babying, maybe they could use like one night, mm-hmm. like a couple's just reconnect as a couple. Like, yeah, just even like one night, like a dinner night, like an evening, like baby is with somebody, they're going out for dinner, and they kind of have like one night of like a little bit. I feel like that could be healthy even as a couple stance as well, of like reconnecting as a couple.
Yeah. Okay, there's an update. Hey everyone, I just wanted to share another update after having a very long and emotional talk with Jake. I won't get into every detail of our conversation, but I'll touch on the most important points. After putting Olivia to bed, I went straight to bed myself, feeling utterly exhausted. Jake was already asleep, but for some reason, the weight of everything just hit me all at once, and I started crying uncontrollably. My sobbing woke Jake up, and he immediately asked me what was wrong. I told him that I was just tired, but then I opened up about how anxious I'd been feeling about his trip and being left alone with Olivia. I admitted something I've been reluctant to say out loud, that Jake hasn't been as involved as I thought he would be. This was one of my biggest fears when we found out we were having a baby. For context, Jake has a rocky relationship with his own dad. I won't get into details about why his dad isn't the best, but his mom, my mother-in-law, remarried when Jake was in middle school, and his dad wasn't very present in his life. Jake has expressed to me before that becoming a father was scary for him because he's afraid of being a bad one, just like his dad. When he first told me that, I thought it would make him into a great father because it showed how much he cared about being a good dad long before we were even pregnant. When I vented to him about all of this, at first he tried to defend himself. He admitted that he's been freaking out about having a baby for so long and just didn't want to tell me. He said he didn't want to stress me out while I was pregnant because he knows how much I've always wanted to be a mother. Hearing him say that made me feel guilty, like I hadn't seen how much he's been struggling internally. I had tried to convince him that he was going to be a great dad when we had this conversation a long time ago, and now it all felt more complicated. I thought to myself, this can't go on much longer. I realized that if he was going to keep pulling away like this, I didn't know if I could handle it. So I asked him, is this what our life is going to look like from now on? Me with Olivia and you away? Because if it is, Jake, then I don't think I can continue on like this. Jake told me to calm down and assured me that he wasn't going anywhere. Then he got really emotional. He even started to tear up. He said he didn't want to turn into his dad, and that he hadn't realized that going on this trip could be a preliminary step towards becoming an absentee father he feared he might be. He apologized for not considering me and Olivia as much as he should have. Long story short, Jake called his friends and told them he wouldn't be able to make the trip. He even started planning a little family getaway for the 3 of us next year when Olivia is a bit older. It was a tough conversation, but I feel like we're on the same page now, and I'm hopeful that things will get better from here. Thanks again, everyone, for your support and advice. It's been an emotional roller coaster, but I'm grateful for the community helping me navigate it.
Well, I'm good Jay came to his senses, because it was not my theory of he's doing so much he deserves a weekend. It's the opposite, where he's also barely been doing anything and now he wants to leave.
Yep, exactly.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I don't think they're doomed, though. I feel like
I don't think so.
It's good that he changed his mind, and this is a good... It seems like they do have good communication from this little blip into their life that we have. I don't know. Like,
it seems like they didn't have good communication, and good communication doesn't get... This is a boiling point conversation.
I guess.
This is an emotional breakdown conversation. Good communication...
I'm
doesn't
just saying,
result to this. At least they had communication.
They communicated the bare minimum.
Yeah, they emotional communicated after the bomb went off.
Yeah,
there wasn't.
Okay, fair.
Like there was no communication before that. Apparently,
I'm just saying at least like bare minimum here, guys. Like at least he opened up about his feelings.
Yeah, bare minimum after she had an emotional breakdown.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe there's potential for growth. So
potentially.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. That was a long one.
All right. I like that one. That was good. I feel like we literally just saw Andrew yesterday.
I know.
So I feel like there's so much like baby emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Moving on. This one's coming from, am I overreacting? Am I overreacting? My boyfriend hasn't come home since Friday, and it's now Sunday. My 24 female boyfriend, 27 male, left for a festival around 12 o'clock on Friday. He told me that he loved me and that he'd see me that night since he had to work on Saturday, and then he'd go back to the festival on Sunday morning. I told him to have fun, be safe, and that I'd see him that night. I went to work like normal and didn't hear anything from him all day, which didn't bother me since he's at a festival, probably had bad service and didn't want to spoil his fun by trying to be on his phone. I got home after work around midnight and still hadn't heard anything. I was hungry and decided to have some food delivered, so I figured I'd call him and ask if he wanted something for when he got home. It went straight to voicemail twice. I decided to check his location to see if maybe he was stuck in the parking lot and therefore would have terrible service, which was the case. Didn't think much of it, ordered my food, ate, and went off to bed. Decided to check his location once more and saw the bus was just pulling out of the parking lot area and on the road. When I woke up, he wasn't next to me. I immediately checked my phone, but didn't have any missed messages or calls. This started to slightly worry me, so I looked at his location again, and it showed him at a hotel somewhere. I figured he must have missed the last train home, and that I'd see him soon. I went on about my day, deep cleaning the house, doing some laundry, etc., and didn't think about it anymore. Then, around 4 p.m., I received a call from his boss asking if I knew where he was since he never showed up for his shift at 3 p.m., I hadn't even noticed the time. I called, FaceTime, text, messaged, but I got no response. Then, around 5 p.m., I got one lousy message that he had hurt his ankle and lost his wallet. I asked what happened, if he was okay, why didn't he come home, why he didn't let me know, was he going to a hotel, why was he ignoring his boss, and when was he coming home? Or who is he with? None of his friends went to the festival as he went alone. It's now Sunday and he still hasn't responded nor come home. He turned his location settings off yesterday around the same time and sent that text to me. I have this really bad feeling like something is off. This is very out of character for him. We've been together for 6 years and he's never done anything remotely like this. I'm worried. I'm angry. I feel like he's hiding something. I know he didn't plan to go to the hotel. He didn't bring a change of clothes or pack a bag. He just went for a day, planning to come back that night. Am I overreacting for having this bad feeling like something is very wrong?
Girl, you are underreacting. What the heck? Why did it take you a whole day? A whole day to start freaking out? Oh my god. Like, I just went about my day and I started cleaning the house. Everything was fine. What do you mean? He didn't text you? He didn't tell you he wasn't coming home? Bro, I would be losing my mind. Am I crazy for that? Like,
no.
Okay, if it were you and I didn't come home and I didn't text you, you would be out on the street. Like, you would be looking for me.
Recently I've developed a little bit of a paranoia about stuff.
I go into the store. You're in the car and I miss a phone call from you and you come into the store looking for me.
Did she get kidnapped?
You've done that a few times.
I used to be like the most like, you'll get there when you get there, carefree. I think it's you rubbing off on me because now I'm like, it's been 9.5 minutes. What's taking so long? Like, even like yesterday, like I was checking to see like how long Madison was going to be until she get there. And then she's at the cottage. So I know she doesn't have bad service, but it says her location hadn't been updated in 3 hours. Don't they have Wi-Fi or something at the cottage? Like 3 hours is a long time not to update the location. So I was getting a little bit worried. And yeah, there's been other times where I've been more worried about you. I've been like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, a couple times you've like left. You came looking for me.
Yeah.
So
I was very concerned.
So I just mean, like, I don't know. I think this is a natural way to react in a relationship. I feel like, I don't know, if you love someone, like, I'm not saying like if you don't react this way, you don't love that person.
Yeah, every person's different.
This is just the way I would react. Like, I wouldn't have even gone to bed unless you were beside me. Like,
yeah, you wouldn't have fallen asleep.
And there's no way me waking up the next morning and you not being there, I would be okay. Like, I would just go about my day. I don't know. My first thought wasn't cheating in this situation. I don't know. Like,
so what do you think's happening?
Well, now I think he's cheating because he actually answered her. But I thought he was kidnapped or something.
Kidnapped?
Yeah.
From a festival.
Actually, yeah.
Held for ransom. No, I could be totally.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, you never know.
People are crazy out there.
They are.
But now that he responded, like, he's being sketchy.
Sketchy.
Unless his kidnapper texted that.
Give me your theories.
For some reason, I don't think he's cheating still. I think this is like, maybe he is kidnapped. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
By aliens?
I hope he's not cheating. Like, that would be a shitty way to cheat because...
Wouldn't be planned very well.
No.
Maybe he just did a lot of drugs and he's off on a bender. Bender? I
have no idea.
Just consumed a lot of drugs, alcohol, blacked out.
Also, not to judge, but I'm going to judge. Who goes to festivals by themselves?
Hey, don't judge. Yeah, but I was thinking the same thing.
I've never been to a festival.
But we don't even go to festivals together, so who am I to say who goes to a festival alone? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can, but
Maybe you just love music that much.
I don't know. I thought the point of, like, the festivals and stuff was to, like, I don't know.
Same.
Get fun, like, get drunk and take drugs with your friends. And
maybe
like,
he meets new friends.
I guess.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess it's the same as concerts. People go to concerts by themselves. Which I think is a little bit different than festivals. I don't know. I feel like I would go to a Taylor Swift concert by myself.
It's like going to the movie theater by yourself?
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. I've done that.
Yeah. Okay. People are gonna hate me for that judgment part, but...
Yeah. It's okay. People hate on me for my judgment sometimes.
Okay.
So I'll comment on this. Get his mom to call the police. She'll have a better chance of being listened to by them, even if they can do a welfare check at the hotel. Or at least you would know if he's still in one piece until he gets home and has to face the music for cheating anyhow. Stop coming.
Okay. Is there an update?
I got an update.
Thank God.
All right. Update. It's Sunday. We found him.
We found him.
We found him.
That doesn't sound like he was cheating.
Dear Redditors, let me start off with thanking each and every one of you for your concern, your kind words, and advice. I didn't expect this to get as big as it did. I'm a long-time lurker on the sub on my main profile, and it's not often I see this kind of response. When I posted yesterday morning, I was beside myself with worry, and I had already taken quite a few steps to find him, which included calling friends and family. Many people told me I was probably overreacting and he was just having fun, but it didn't sit right with me. So when coming to Reddit, I was just hoping for a few people telling me that I hadn't lost my mind. When calling the hotel, they initially informed me that they couldn't give out any information about guests due to the privacy laws in my country. The police weren't of any help either, telling me that I should contact them again if he hadn't come home by Tuesday morning. I spoke to the management of the festival who could confirm that he did scan his ticket at the entrance on Friday. However, they work with wristbands, so there's no way for them to tell if he came back on Saturday or Sunday. With the hotel, the festival, and the police being quite dismissive, I turned to Reddit. I didn't include all these details in my original post since I didn't want the post to get too long, and I figured I could just add information by responding to you. That worked fine until I got about 100 plus reactions, and then 1,000 plus, and then 5,000 plus, which is absolutely crazy to me. Honestly, I can't thank you enough, and the responses have really helped me through this and confirmed that the chance of something bad happening was way bigger than him just having fun. After calling the hotel again and pleading with the manager of the hotel for quite a while, they were able to inform me that there hadn't been a reservation under his name. I sent his picture to the hotel, and they looked at the security footage around the time his phone showed up there. Although they couldn't inform us of the results, they did promise to keep the footage on file in case the police would need it later on. I contacted the police again with this information, and while they were still hesitant to investigate further, they did give the hotel a call and request the footage of that Friday night. A little while later, they called me back saying that my boyfriend hadn't been on any of the cameras all weekend. Therefore, they could rule out that he was even there at all. Because his phone clearly showed his location being there and I had screenshots to prove it, the police realized that something indeed wasn't right and promised me they'd look into it straight away. Me and one of my mutual friends decided to start driving towards the festival site, which was about a 4-hour drive. We knew we wouldn't be able to get in since we didn't have tickets, and even if we did, there was no way to find him in a crowd of over 65,000 people. But at least we'd be close by in case we received any news and we could ask around to see if anyone recognized his picture. Before we reached the site, I received another call from the police. My boyfriend has been found in the hospital, which he had been there since Saturday morning. He had been found in the ditches of the parking lot of the festival around 3 a.m. together with a few other people who had also been at the festival. All of them were severely beaten up without any of their belongings. The hospital found traces of the same drug in each of their systems, which leads the police to suspect they may have been preyed upon and drugged by groups of people searching for easy targets, i.e. people who are alone. Apparently, it usually takes 1 to 2 days to identify an unconscious person without any form of ID on them, which is why I didn't hear anything earlier. The police are investigating further and will let us know if they find out who's responsible. We already confirmed that we will want to press charges. My boyfriend is okay now, and he's expected to make a smooth recovery. He broke his collarbone and his wrist, and is covered in bruises and cuts and has a light concussion. He came by very late Sunday night. Unfortunately, or luckily, he doesn't have any memories of the incident or the events that happened right before. I am feeling so relieved and happy that we found him and he's safe, yet so incredibly angry at people who did this to him and the others that have been found. You always hear horror stories about things like this, but you never expect it to happen to you. I'm sorry I didn't update any earlier, but as you might have been able to imagine, it wasn't the first thing on my mind these last 24 hours. I'll try to answer a few more questions today should any of you still have some, and then I'll leave this as it is. Dear Redditors, thank you again for everything you've done from the bottom of your heart.
What the fuck? Oh my god, I didn't even think, like, yeah, call the hospitals. Like,
Well, that's when shit hits the fan.
That is so crazy and sad and scary.
Yeah.
I don't know why my mind didn't go there. I just automatically think like human trafficking, like I don't know, being kidnapped. But yeah,
that's almost the same. That's almost the same thing. Like trouble with like a criminal, malicious, like someone
I guess.
took advantage of you. Like he's not out cheating and stuff. Like
I know. I had a feeling he wasn't cheating. Okay, so someone stole his phone. Oh,
they
the people who
took
beat him
everything.
up.
Yeah, they took all of his belongings.
What the fuck?
Took his wallet and phone. Couldn't even ID him.
Wow. See, like you have to follow your gut. Like people, those people who say you're overreacting, he's just having fun. Why would he go to a festival, plan for one day, and then not tell you that he's going to stay 2 extra days?
Like as soon as he didn't show up at work, boom.
As soon as he didn't text you that he's going to stay an extra night, like
clear red flag.
I'm sorry, like people who say you're overreacting are literally underreacting. Like you need to react more. Mm-hmm. You're the weird one. Like
yeah,
come on.
Never know what could go wrong.
This is why I have anxiety and fears constantly.
Dude, broken collarbone, broken wrist, cuts and bruises. Like, not only did they drug him and steal all their stuff, but like, why did they have to literally beat the shit out of him?
People are fucked.
You know, they always say like when you go to like the parties and clubs and festivals, like when you're a woman, to like protect your drink, cover your drink, get a drink sleeve, don't accept drinks from strangers or everything because of obviously like, you know, date rape and everything and stuff like that. But like, bro, nowadays
it can happen to anyone.
Even if you're a guy, you gotta watch your drink. You gotta be careful. Someone might want to drug and just rob you or beat the shit out of you. So it's like, no matter who you are, you gotta be careful.
Everybody has to be careful. Like there are literally sick people in this world.
Literally disgusting.
We literally can't have nice things anymore. Like we can't enjoy our fun. Like, and yeah, like as someone, and I know I said it was weird before, like going somewhere by yourself, but not only is it like a little bit what's the word? Unsafe?
Abnormal?
No, abnormal, but it's like you also have to think about your safety. Like, yes, like I didn't even think about like, oh, he's going by himself. Like maybe he should be careful. Like, I don't know. 'Cause
I feel like most women are already like, I would never go by myself. Yes. I'm extremely careful because of obviously those concerns. Yeah. But like just because you're a guy doesn't mean you're invincible.
No, exactly.
Like you should still have your own valid concerns about safety.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Be safe out there, guys. Oh my god.
Literally.
I'm glad he's recovering, and they said that he's going to be fully recovered soon, but that's so scary. I hope.
Still broken wrist and a broken collarbone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Woo. Shit hit the fan.
Did. All right.
On to you.
On to me. All right. This one comes from relationships. Our rock-solid relationship imploded in a single night, and I'm completely blindsided. My partner, 25 male, is my 26 female rock, and I'm his. Literally, he tells me that all the time, including yesterday. We've been together for 5 years and have a truly wonderful relationship. Always talking, laughing, comfortable with one another, able to communicate healthy, even when we disagree. After surviving abuse as a child and struggling with unhealthy romantic relationships in the past, the fact that we love each other in a respectful, secure, and profoundly healthy way is truly my biggest blessing, and I wake up every day so happy and grateful for him. He is an incredible man with so much drive, intelligence, kindness, and gifts to give the world. About 1.5 years ago, it came up for the first time that we saw ourselves getting married one day. It was such a beautiful moment, and it rocked my world to have been vulnerable, said those words, and have him say them too. Since then, it's been something incredibly happy that I get to hold in my heart and look forward to. The subject has come up sporadically since then, but I haven't wanted to push it too far since we are very much young and it is very much an eventually thing. Both of our parents are divorced and his come from money. He got a lot of strong advice growing up not to marry young and to protect his assets, to see it from a more financial view than I have ever thought of. Nevertheless, the thought makes me happy, and we often daydream about the future we'll build together, the little house in New Hampshire we hope to buy, and the dogs and chickens we'll have. These are conversations he participates in and brings up on his own all the time. I want to be able to talk casually about the marriage aspect too. Go to bed with a sleepy, can't wait to marry you, or love of my life. But for some reason, recently, whenever the subject has come up, he's clammed up and made it feel really serious. This culminated maybe 2 months ago with a really weird conversation in which I sensed he might not have processed what marriage really means in the way that I had, and that he wasn't ready to be talking about this in the way that I was, or as much as he had let on. I told him I don't want to put a gun to his head. This is just something that makes me happy to think about and talk about, and I tell him everything. I said I love him for him. I'd wait as long as he needs, but that I firmly didn't want to bring up the subject again until he was comfortable discussing it. I wanted to relieve the pressure on him, and I haven't mentioned it since. Well, yesterday we spent a really lovely day getting lunch and hiking with my family. They live far away, so we don't see them very often. My stepsister and her fiancé were there as well, and of course there was a little bit of light conversation about their upcoming wedding. My boyfriend was his usual friendly, easygoing self. I noticed he seemed quiet on the way home and later that evening, so I asked if he was worried about work, but he just said he was tired from a long day traveling. I made him a drink, kissed him on the forehead like I always do, and promised we could do whatever we wanted to relax that night. Just did what I normally do when I can tell he's stressed, try to show him empathy and take care of him. But then as I'm making dinner, he comes over to me and drops this bomb. He came over to me crying and said spending time with an engaged couple and even barely talking about their wedding had sent him into a panic, and he didn't know if he could ever see himself getting married. I was completely blindsided. I tried to parse what he was saying, but it was like my brain was stuck. Evidently, he had been locking himself in the office all week crying about this. I kept asking him why he would say he wanted to marry me if he didn't. He said he was lying, basically. That he wanted to give me what he knew I wanted to make me happy. I could only just stare at him with an open mouth. I kept trying to pinpoint if he was saying to me, I don't know if I'll be ready to be married for a long time, or I don't think I'll ever be ready to be married. And I really don't think he knows himself. I don't think he has put any kind of mature thought into marriage at all. It was like talking to a scared child. He kept saying stuff about not knowing where his career will lead or if he'll have money. He has a great job, an outstanding network, and is definitely not poor. Neither of us are. And I was just like, we're a partnership. You wanted to be with me yesterday. You want to be with me today. Do you want to be with me tomorrow? Yes, he said. I said, well, that's all that matters. We have a life, we love, and we'll take on a future together when it comes. I'm devastated. He left for his mother's house, and I don't know when he'll be back. I cannot take another sleeping pill, or my heart will stop, but I can't sleep a wink. I literally spiked 100-degree fever and spent all night sweating and freezing. I had no idea it was possible to be in so much pain. It makes me physically sick. This person is the bedrock of my life. We have always had rock-solid confidence that we can trust each other, be vulnerable around each other, and be our full authentic selves without inhibition or fear or judgment. We share everything together and we are the best friends. He even said that over and over as he sobbed, and he told me he loved me, that he didn't want to get married. Hours ago, I had the most beautiful and solid relationship in the world. Now I don't know if we're going to break up. I'm reeling. I feel like I've been stabbed in the back by my safe space. The earth fell out from under me, and I don't even know what to think anymore.
Oh, man. That's so rough. I can sympathize with this guy.
Yeah.
You know, like, I didn't want to get married in the beginning of our relationship, but I came around to it. But it's like she said, like, do you regret being with me? Do you want to be with me now? Do you want to be with me in the future? Yes, yes, yes. Then that's all that really matters. And marriage is just kind of more of a modern day socialism thing, I guess. You know what I mean? When humans were apes, marriage didn't really matter. It's more of like a civilization thing.
Okay.
However long it's lasted. Like, what does marriage actually do for us? Nothing. It's a little ceremony. We get a little bit of legal benefits now with our modern laws and rules, but marriage isn't it's not like really anything.
I think it is a symbol of...
It's a symbol. That's what I mean. That's all it is. It's a hypothetical symbol.
Yes, but it makes people feel secure.
Absolutely.
In your relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And more of it's a symbol of secureness. You know what I mean? Like marriage doesn't actually mean anything. It's like money. It only has meaning because we give it meaning. You know what I mean? Having a baby, that's unavoidable. That's a biological thing. Men and women have sex, a baby is made. But I mean, like a marriage, it's like a social construct.
Yes.
Okay? So if you're going to plan to be with that person forever, do you need marriage? No. Relationships are about compromise. But the question is, what direction does that compromise go? Mm-hmm. Does that compromise go between, hey, we stayed together, you're my rock, my ride or die, like I don't need marriage, I just want you? That's where she's got to be the compromise? Or is the compromise where, hey, I don't really need marriage, but if marriage means so much to you, then I'm okay, I'll do it for you.
Someone has to compromise. Someone's not going to be happy.
The relationship, it has to be like an equal, not like a compromise and someone's not going to be happy, but like relationships are about compromises and are about making those compromises together and both coming out of it being happy. Mm-hmm. That, I feel like that's what, if you either want to call that a lifelong relationship or a marriage, I feel like that's what they're based on, is in your life, you agree to make decisions together. Whether that's for marriage or for everything else, future house, future car, where you live, what your retirement looks like, everything like that. Your relationship is about the decisions that you make together. Marriage is one of those decisions that you make together. Do you want to submit to the social construct of marriage that we have created? You have little perks of it, I think, in the law. Maybe some not perks if you divorce or cheat or something like that. You know what I mean? Like there's some pros and cons with our civilization law constructs, but... it's the unstoppable force meets the immovable object, right? Mm-hmm. The one person on the side of the relationship, like they both say, hey, I want you for life. But one of them's like, hey, I want the ring in the marriage. And the other one's like, hey, I'm scared of that. But I feel like there's like, I'm scared of it versus I don't want it.
Yeah.
It's always more leaning towards the compromise is getting married. I feel like that should be the compromise. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you not just get a prenup? Like, I feel like the only reason that he's worried about marriage
is his assets
and what people have told him and stuff. And to me in this, it sounds like at the beginning, he was participating, he was talking about it. So there needs to be a conversation had of, okay, where did your timeline change?
Yeah.
When did you change your mind? Why did you change your mind? Let's talk about it. Here's all the reasons why I think we should get it. And here's all the reasons why you think you don't want it. And which ones make more sense? And then also, is he still your rock if these are your core beliefs in life and he doesn't believe them? Mm-hmm. And that's where you also have to realign or rethink or reconsider why you feel the way you want marriage so much. Is the reason that you feel like you want marriage so much, is that more important to you as a person than your spouse's reasons for why he doesn't want marriage? And is that an impassable intersection? Mm-hmm, is that something that you can compromise on? Will you regret that for the rest of your life? Do you love him the same way because his values no longer align with yours? A very complicated situation.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think what makes it even harder is that he did seem to want it at the beginning.
So I agree.
It definitely puts a difficult twist on this situation.
Yeah, especially when you're the one who's like engaging, creating in the conversations, creating them on your own, engaging in them and stuff. It's like, it's almost cruel for you to then change your mind about something so important in life and not have a valid conversation or valid reasons why or anything.
Exactly. Yeah. He was just like kind of avoiding it.
If you started the beginning of the relationship and she was aware that this is the way that I believe, I don't think I will ever want to get married, and she still fell in love with him knowing that that's his beliefs, that's one thing. But having the conversations, talking about it, falling in love with that person and that future that you're envisioning, him telling you that, he's going to give you what you want eventually, like he sees that for your future too, that's another thing then to just flip the script.
Yes.
Because she's like, my whole life has been turned upside down because my rock isn't the rock that I thought it was. Yeah. I thought my rock was black. Turns out he's a cloudy gray. The color. You look at the rocks on the shelf every single day. It's a nice black rock that you picked up. And then one day you look at the rock on the shelf and you're like, wait, it's a little less black than I thought it was. It's kind of like a gray rock now.
You and your metaphors. Okay, there's an update.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who commented. I was in an absolute state while writing my original post, and truly thought 8 people would see it. I read every comment. The kind and empathetic advice I received gave me a little bit of hope and peace as I waited, and that was basically the only reason I was able to eat lunch those first 2 days. I want to thank you all for that. The long and short of it is, he left me. I called him the next day, asking when he would come home. He told me he needed a day to think, but he was talking like we were broken up. I asked him to at least tell me if we were still together. He wouldn't. So yeah, he just torched it in pretty much an instant. I had been leaning on a lot of kind words I received from folks who reassured me that one fight does not need to derail everything we've built over the last 5 years. I took the perspective that the question of marriage was something that we'd need to discuss seriously and hopefully through therapy to arrive at what both of us wants. I had no idea he would just unpenned the table with no warning, without ever expressing his feelings or giving us the chance to address it with even a single conversation. So many of the comments I received revolved around the question, is not marrying him a deal breaker for you? Would you be okay with simply a long-term relationship? I don't know. I would have to search my soul for that answer. But I didn't even get the chance. He made that choice for me. 5 beautiful years, and he just fucking left. Needless to say, there were a million better ways to do this while honoring his fears and feelings while still showing me an ounce of respect as his partner and someone who loves him. This owed a conversation, and even if we still reached that same conclusion, I would understand. But this, it's not what I deserve. I did see him one night, and we have been texting. He said all this awful stuff about how he was just trying to tell me everything I wanted to hear and how I wouldn't like the person he really is underneath all his people-pleasing. He's got a lot of this, don't talk about it, just run in his family, including in his parent relationship. My partner has always said he doesn't respect this kind of behavior and talked vehemently about how his values are different. Then he just did the same thing. Although when I wrote my original post, I wanted nothing more than to continue living our happy day-to-day together, but given this entire nightmare, space is the only thing that can do anything for either of us at this point. He has no idea what he's feeling or how to talk about it in a healthy way. My dad had the simplest take and yet said it best. He's immature. He needs to work on himself, and I hope he does. As for me, I'd be an idiot to still want to marry him, knowing this is the kind of thing he's capable of. So we've got to break our lease. Apartment hunting while still reeling from this 180 flip of my life has been terrible. We moved out to the city together and pretty much every friend I have met is through him. So I'm really scared it will mean losing a lot of our people I love too. It's going to be expensive and miserable to live on my own, and I'm still grieving my sweet love and the life I thought we were going to have together. I gave 5 years of my life and so much of myself to being one half of that partnership. I never wanted to be on my own again, and now I am. I still love him, but I can't wait around while he fixes himself, or pine foolishly, hoping one day he'll wake up and be ready for me. I don't want to stand on my own 2 feet, but that's just what I have to do. My question now is, how do I move on? If/when do we eventually talk? What can I even say?
Holy shit, that's rough. Your question, how do you move on? One day at a time. And what do you say to him? Honestly, nothing. Like, you're dead to me. You're done. You're cut.
He showed his true colors.
You showed your true colors, and like it just showed that, like, okay, honestly, like, good riddance. It hurts for you now, but this is honestly like this is a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
He has technically, I guess, just been lying to you the whole time, like a psychopath, I guess, being really into those conversations and making you believe it. And now he's flipped the script, so he's basically been lying to you. And then the fact that he just up and dipped and left and wouldn't even have a conversation about it or anything like that. You do not want that person to be your life partner, whether you stay with him without marriage or not. You don't want that person to be your life partner for your future decisions, kids, sickness, other things in life that are going to be hard as shit. And him to just bail on you and lie to you. Like, you couldn't trust him for anything. So, like, good riddance. I feel really bad for you that your life just got turned down and 180'd on you and everything. But, like, good riddance, and there's nothing that you need to say. Honestly, I would stop texting him, and if he's like, you need to stop texting him because he shouldn't be able to get away with hurting you like that and then being able to text you when he wants.
Yeah, because it's for his guilty conscience.
Exactly.
And yeah, you shouldn't give him that satisfaction.
No, don't give him that satisfaction.
Yeah. Just, yeah, I would block him, make him literally sit in his guilt when...
Block, well, you know, I wouldn't block him. I don't know. I have a thing against blocking. I like to see those text messages come in. The desperate...
But for her, I don't think it'll help. I think it would make it harder.
I agree with that. I think some people should block. I'm a curious motherfucker. I have a hard time blocking. I'm like, I want to know when you're desperate. I want to see those texts coming in 6 months later. Like, oh, I miss you. My life sucks now.
Yeah.
I want to see your desperateness come in through the text. And if you block them, you'll never see that. So, but blocking could be a healthy option too. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I personally wouldn't, but I don't, I don't disagree if you do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but fuck him.
Yeah, fuck the guy.
Yeah, dick.
That's all.
What if I sprung it on you tomorrow? I don't want to get married anymore. I've been lying to you about every time we talk about our future together.
We'd be done.
Last 7 years or nothing.
I get the cats, though.
I want one.
No.
Which
I get both.
No, you can only have one.
No, I get both.
No. Hypothetical. Listen.
Don't put that on
Hear
me.
me
I'm
out.
not choosing.
We're going to play a game, hypothetically.
I'm not choosing
You're the one who talked about leaving me, so now you got to play the game. No, I didn't say about leaving you. I said I just don't want to get married. And you're like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm taking the cats.
You literally just gave your reaction to this guy leaving and lying.
Okay. Okay, hear me. Which one? You can only have one cat, and you're leaving me. Are you taking Jack or Luna? Who are you taking?
Which one would you take?
I'm keeping Luna.
I want Luna.
Poor Jack. Luna's just... Jack, I love you, but Luna just suits my personality more.
What?
I feel like Jack suits your personality more.
What?
Jack is always like, needs to be pet all the time, needs to be right beside you, like very happy. And Luna's like, yo, I'm on the hammock, peace out, leave me alone. I feel like we vibe. She sits in her hammock, I can play Call of Duty, or I can work from home. Like, we vibe just by not touching each other too much. And Jack's always like, pet me. So I feel like...
I love them both equally. Moving on. Your turn.
All right, let's move on. This one was originally posted in Am I the Asshole? And it was deleted for some reason. But there's a subreddit called Am I the Angel that had it. I kept it, so we'll get into it. Am I the asshole for not feeling sorry for my wife when exactly what I told her would happen happened? I feel like this is me sometimes. Like, I told you so.
You are a told you so type of person.
I am sorry.
So am I, though.
No, I feel like, no, I don't feel like you're not. I feel like you only are now because you get, I told you so'd. So that anytime you can get me back, you're like looking for those prime opportunities to like get this, even out the slate.
I think you're right.
Because of me.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for that.
Thanks for making me into a monster.
I have this really negative personality trait of always needing to be right and pointing out when I am right.
It's pretty toxic.
It's slightly toxic. You have no idea. I've toned it down a lot before I met you, so still just shines through a little bit. It's in like more of a healthier segment now. It used to be really bad.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. We have an old house. There is a 5-inch wide horizontal ledge on the stairway that leads down to the basement, and my wife likes to store stuff there. I've been telling her for years that it's a bad idea. Whenever I go downstairs to do laundry or put away groceries in her pantry, I have to make sure that ledge is empty. She always says that it's just handy, and then she always means to clean it up. But I find all kind of crap there. Bottles, jars, open boxes of garbage bags, lighter fluid, you name it. Just about anything and everything will be there. She came in from the backyard where she was gardening to use the bathroom. On her way out, she went downstairs for something. I heard her fall and then scream. After we got home from the hospital, where they had to reattach her toe, I asked her why she thought that leaving her garden shears there was a good idea. She says that now I'm being an asshole for saying, I told you so. I didn't. I just asked her why she did it. I feel very bad that she got injured and lost a toe. I feel terrible that she feels dumb for leaving a heavy, sharp object where it could easily fall. And I feel shitty that I didn't see them in time to put them somewhere safe. None of that means what happened wasn't entirely predictable and entirely her fault. Once again, for the cheap C, I did not say I told you so. Am I the asshole for asking her about her thought process, though?
I'm going to take this one personally. I'm going to say yes.
What? Why? Why are you taking this personally?
I just feel like if it were me in the situation, the last thing I would want to hear is, babe, what were you thinking? Like, I would lose it on you. I would fucking lose it on you. Like, keep your thoughts to yourself. Like,
it's not enough that you are injured from your own mistake.
She lost her toe.
We gotta rub it in. Gotta reattach her toe.
I'm sorry for laughing.
I like how we just glazed over that like this is a small part of the story.
I'm sorry for laughing. That it's not funny at all. But that's no, you don't say that. She learned her lesson. She doesn't need you.
Did she?
Bitching.
Are you? How do we know she learned her lesson?
She lost her toe, so
I guess you just have to wait a week or so and find out she learned her lesson. She still leaves stuff on that ledge.
And if she doesn't, let her learn her lesson again.
Let her be toeless. Is it true that if you lose your pinky toe, that's the one that stabilizes your balance?
I think so. I think that's why mine's inverted.
It's not inverted. It's 90. 90.
Whatever. Kat said we talked too much about toes in the last episode. So we need to move on.
Okay. No more toe talk. Well, I mean, the story is a toe talk. I'm sorry, Kat.
Okay, what's the verdict?
Top comment.
What's the verdict? I am an autumn.
Top comment. Not your asshole. It's a tad stupid.
Not your asshole.
Not your asshole. I'm sorry. Let me retry that. Sorry. Top comment. Not the asshole. Your question is a tad stupid. Obviously, she was being thoughtless and or lazy. While she is unfortunate to have suffered this accident, better it be the person who caused the unsafe situation than someone innocent. Her negligence could have seriously injured or killed someone. While she was the one who got hurt this time, it could have easily been you walking down the stairs. I can only hope that you do not have children that could have gotten hurt instead of her. She should feel dumb. She should feel embarrassed. She should learn from this lesson.
It's kind of harsh.
OP's reply, we have an 8-year-old who plays in the basement.
Ooh. What?
Okay. Imagine, parallel universe, he's the one who walks down to the basement and loses a toe because of her.
Well, then yes. Then you say something.
Ooh,
definitely.
Imagine you're the reason my toe got cut off.
It was reattached.
It probably doesn't work, though. Yeah, it's reattached, but it's a fucking, placeholder. The nerves are severed. It just looks like it's attached, but it has no stabilization properties anymore.
Are you sure? I think when stuff gets reattached...
maybe it takes time for them to grow back. Doesn't always guarantee.
Grow back.
Well, the nerves, for them to, reconnect. What, you think they just super glue it back together and then, your skin actually has, put it back together? It takes time for your skin to, reconnect and heal.
I heard the Dollarama glue.
What? You should tell the story.
I can't. Because yesterday we were at Denver's dad's house. Kat was there. Denver and Kat were fixing. I'm crying. Denver and Kat were fixing something in her car, and there was a piece broken off or something, and then
an exhaust heat shield.
Kat was like, "Can I super glue it back?" And everyone was like, "No, absolutely not.
It's exhaust. It's heat."
The heat will just burn it off. And then she was guys, the Dollarama super glue.
It's really good.
It's really good. I just fixed something in my dishwasher and it's been holding tight for months. Okay, I'm sorry, we're getting way off topic here, but I just thought that was fitting because you said super glue. Okay. Okay, yes. I mean, okay. If he wasn't saying it in a spiteful way, And if he was like actually, which I don't know what kind of tone he used. He probably, I don't know. He could have said it in a rude way, not in a rude way, but like in a condescending way.
Yeah, probably. I could see it.
And I don't know, made her snap because this is from his perspective, right?
And in the first half of the story, he talks about the perspective of how she always leaves stuff there, even though he says not to. And
so I think there's a difference. Like,
I think it's definitely the way he said it, his attitude.
If he approached it as like, hey, I don't think that this should, like, I think you should really consider your choices here because we have kids and we don't want this to happen to them. So I would just like to know your thought process.
Yeah.
Like if he, I don't know. It depends on how he approached it, I guess.
I feel you.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
Moving on. If you guys are enjoying all of our stories and you guys are a new listener, just thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget that we are awesome and we deserve your 5-star rating on Spotify. If you don't mind just dropping down there, that help us out so much. Thank you very much. Also, feel free to leave a comment. And Patreon has bonus episodes once a week. Every Friday, there's a new bonus episode that comes out. That's 4 or 5 times a month, depending on the month.
Yes.
Do you know that 2 times a year, 2 months out of the year have 5 weeks?
Is that how that works?
That's how it works. Sometimes you get 3 paychecks if you paid every other week.
Oh, no. I'm twice a month.
Yeah. One job I had, I got paid weekly.
Whoa.
That means
really
2 months of the year, I got 5 paychecks a year.
That's cool.
It was awesome.
All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my sister-in-law babysit my baby and being unwilling to hear her out? My husband and I had to be somewhere for our older child, so we asked my mother-in-law if she could watch our 3-month-old for a few hours. She said of course. Unfortunately, when we dropped him off, she wasn't home and one of my husband's sisters, Jane, 21, was instead. Apparently, my mother-in-law wasn't going to be home for a bit, so she, Jane, agreed to watch our son for some time. I immediately said no because, well, Jane believes that babies don't feel anything. She thinks that they cry for no reason and we shouldn't respond to their cries ever for whatever reason, and that not responding won't have any effect on them. She thinks that anything we do to babies during this period of their lives will have absolutely zero effect on them in the future. She will often call them mindless too. My husband calls his mom and we politely explained our concerns and then hung up because we were extremely busy already, and now we had to find another babysitter as well. I figured that was it until Jane came over extremely upset and in tears, insisting that she's not a bad person and that she would never do anything to hurt any kid. She then accused me of discriminating against her because she doesn't want to have kids like everyone else in the family. I told her straight up that I don't give a crap if she wants kids of her own, but I don't like her thought process on how to care for babies specifically. Instead of trying to understand me, she doubled down and said that her way of dealing with babies makes sense and that I'm wrong and I'm just extremely sensitive in nature, so of course I don't get it. She kept arguing with me about how to take care of my baby, so I just asked her to leave and she blew up on me. My husband even told her to calm down and that it's not like we're preventing her from seeing our kids altogether, but she just went, "Fuck you and your dumbass kids," and left, which, ... okay? But my mother-in-law is really annoyed with me because Jane is still very upset, and I'm just wondering if I'm the asshole. Like, I don't think I am specifically, since no one lets her babysit for the same reasons, but I'm the first person to actually say no to her face and tell her why instead of making up an excuse. And perhaps I was a bit too harsh.
No, I don't give a fuck. Your sister-in-law is a fucking idiot. Sorry you got called out on being a fucking idiot. I'm upset right now. There's a lot of baby talks in this episode.
I know.
I'm very sensitive because of Andrew.
I know.
This gives me the vibes of like The Simpsons. Like,
I don't know what that is.
Homer on Bart.
Just like shaking him?
No, strangling
him?
like you're so dumb. I don't want to shake you and strangle you. Like, babies, it has absolutely zero effect and they're just mindless. I think you're the fucking mindless one.
For real.
Like, okay, Cool. You believe that. Okay. You're a fucking idiot and you're nowhere near my baby. So don't complain when I don't let you have my baby because I'm telling you that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to babies. You're a 21-year-old idiot.
And then to attack her and be like, you're doing it wrong. Like,
yeah.
You have no right to say that to me.
You have nothing to stand on.
No.
Nothing. And no offense, but like, mother-in-law, you're cut. You're done. You're never a babysitter again.
Yep.
I asked you if you would take care of the baby.
Yeah.
And you thought that it would be a good idea to leave the baby with your daughter who doesn't believe that babies. That would make me question of how are you taking care of my baby when I'm not there and you're there?
Yeah.
Because if you think it's okay for your daughter to look after the baby for a few hours until you get home, do you agree with her mindset on babies? You haven't tried to correct her or anything.
Exactly.
You let your daughter have this opinion of babies when it's like, hey, no, daughter, you're wrong.
Yeah.
When you were a little baby, you were not mindless. Your crying did affect you when you were a baby because everybody was a baby once. Your crying did affect you. And like, are you saying that when you shit your diaper and you started crying, I shouldn't have changed your diaper and I should let you get rashes? No.
Everything she said was just absurd.
Even like at this point, even if she didn't have these opinions, I wouldn't have left my baby with her. Mm-hmm. Even if this 21-year-old didn't have the opinions that babies don't need to be attended to when they're crying and they're mindless, even if she loved babies, I still would not have even left my child with them because 3 months old. I don't know. I don't think he's going to change too much with Andrew, but like I've seen it like for 3 hours, like that's a lot of work. Like, do you know how to feed him with the bottle? Do you know how to hold him so that his head doesn't fall back? Do you know how to change his diaper? Do you know how to like coddle him? Do you know how to do anything as a 21-year-old? You don't know anything. So I wouldn't. Even then, I would not be leaving her at all. And mother-in-law has now, for the rest of that baby's life, just lost all privileges because I don't know what's happening when I'm not there.
Exactly.
I can't trust you.
Yeah. I don't know why the mother-in-law thought this was okay. She was, I'm not going to be there. Yes, I'll watch her baby, but I won't be there. Jane will be there.
How about, no, I won't be home to watch my baby, but Jane will be there. Maybe you should ask her.
Yeah. Yeah, this one made me upset.
I was, Homer on Bart. Like, this one made me really upset. I'm really upset at this one.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Triggered you.
I'm getting really sensitive with these baby ones.
I know. There's a lot of baby ones.
I'm getting rattled up. I'm sorry.
Just hits home.
I feel like a year ago, I would have been like, I don't care. I'm like, it's so raw to me now. Because he's such a little precious little baby. I had to put his jumper on or his thingy on yesterday. It was so hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. He's so sensitive. He's a little baby. Oh.
All right. Let's move on to you.
Moving on. This one's coming from relationship advice. I had to protect my niece from a pit bull, and my husband ran off. I have been ignoring him. Is this something that I should be forgiving him for? I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning before we get into this one for dog attack and a little bit of animal abuse. I, 30 female, am going to start with this. I'm a bit traumatized, and I will be finding someone to talk to. And a friend made this account for me because I am not a frequenter. I don't know if a pit bull made it. I haven't asked. My husband, 31 male, and his niece and nephew and I were in our backyard. I'm going to assume that the gate was open, but I can't remember. The pit bull came out of nowhere and latched on to his niece, 5 female. Niece screamed. I turned, kicked it with all the force that I could manage. I was lucky enough to hit it in the jaw, somewhere that made the jaw dislodge. My husband, who has been a few feet away, shouted something along the lines of, "Whose dog is this?" I told him to get our bear spray from the house. I was in a panic. I am an animal lover, but this was so insane. The pit bull seemed almost rabid. I don't think it was in hindsight. It wasn't foaming at the mouth. It was just crazed. So my husband ran, but not towards the house. He literally ran for the fence gate and shut it behind him. He didn't run towards his niece or his nephew, who was also present in an outdoor bassinet that I managed to all but toss onto the picnic table to make sure it was out of the dog's reach. while holding his niece off my shoulder. I put her on the barbecue to keep her out of reach, but the dog was literally jumping and snapping up. I was worried that if I tried to carry her, because I'm short, that it would manage to grab her out of my hands. It chased me when I ran for the shovel, but then I swung at it, and I swung until it stopped. I don't think I will ever forget that sound or feeling.
Oh my God.
It was so high stress, I didn't even realize it had bitten me twice. I haven't spoken to my husband for a full week, even though we live in the same house. I didn't ask where he went during the incident. He only came back a few minutes later to pack us into the car and drive us to the hospital. He's getting angry that I am now giving him the silent treatment, but I feel like it's his fault that I had to possibly end an animal's life if he had gotten the bear spray, which I literally keep in my purse as if I'm ever attacked by an animal or otherwise. I don't think I would have needed to do what I did. It was literally just inside the door. He knows where I keep it. Instead, he literally took off to God knows where. Me and the 2 children that I'm not even related to could have died. It might not be relevant, but I don't even like kids. I am staunchly child-free, and he is the one that offered us up to babysit for the weekend. I don't know. Is this grounds for divorce? I'm not sure I can even look at him. Any attraction I had to him is pretty much gone. He tried to touch me yesterday just to move me so he could pass, and I smacked his hand away without even thinking about it, as if he's some stranger at the bar, because it was literally jarring. He's just been sulking around trying to talk to me and then getting frustrated, and then sulking more. I wasn't expecting him to be macho and fist fight the freaking dog, but at least follow the instruction. At least not leave me in a life or death situation with a toddler and an infant. Should I be able to chalk this up to a momentary panic? I don't even know if I want to hear him out. Shit hit the fan.
Holy shit. That was really sad. I don't like that one. Bad find.
Oh, bad find. Okay.
I don't know if it's divorce worthy. Like, it's how you feel. Like, you're the one who is literally getting the ick from him now. Like, you can't have him touching you.
Yeah. Doesn't find him attractive.
It's how you feel. For me, like, I don't think that this would be divorce worthy. Like,
you don't think in a life or death situation, me abandoning you wouldn't give you the ick?
Like, okay, it would definitely piss me off. And
don't you want to know that you have a life partner that will defend you?
I think it was probably a momentary lapse of judgment. Like, it was high stakes. He was panicking. Like,
cool, but what happens in the next time there's a high stakes moment in your life? Do you want to? Do you think that you want someone who you know won't just try to defend you?
I don't know. For me, like, okay, yes, this would be like a big argument, but for me, I just don't know if I would divorce over this.
It's interesting because I feel like this is kind of gender role specific. Like, the men is supposed to be like the defender of the family in a sense. So like having your perspective versus my perspective is different because I would never expect you to stick up for me in a situation like this. Dogs attacking us and you ran away. That would not give me the ick whatsoever because I don't feel like you need to be the one protecting me. I feel like I need to be the one protecting you. Hey, if you jumped in front of me to tackle the dog to try and save me, sure, I'm going to get the warm and fuzzies that you love me so much that you'd be willing to do that. But I would never think negatively of you for trying to run and get to safety and not coming to protect me. But I would think in that situation that I'm going to be the one to jump in front of you. I'm going to be the one to try to protect you and keep you safe. So it's more interesting from your perspective or her perspective of what obviously she expected him to do more and take on that gender bias rule or whatever. Yeah. That's what she expected out of her relationship, which is completely fair on her point. And I think it's fair that when he disappointed to her, in that situation that he is no longer attractive in her eyes.
Oh,
is
totally
a big
fair.
part of that attractiveness.
Yes.
I feel like is being the protector, the provider for the family. So I think it's fair for her to
Oh, I agree.
kind of have that perspective.
Yeah, 100%. But she's asking us, like, is this divorce worthy? I feel like from what she's saying, like, in her perspective, I think that's what she wants. Like, I don't know. Can she recover from this? Can she recover from not, like, it has only been a week-ish was what she said. So maybe she will get over it. Maybe it just needs some time to, I don't know, rekindle that attraction again. Or maybe this is just like permanent damage, which
I think it's permanent damage. I think it's divorce worthy, and I think it's permanent damage.
Yeah.
I don't think there could ever be, any more of a situation like this that would be more like, yeah, there's more, but like this is one of those events, whether it's a robber with a gun or getting attacked by somebody, you're getting physically endangered by something in life. There is almost nothing more traumatic for this to happen again. And I think from her, if she no longer finds him attractive and can no longer trust him in future situations, this would be divorce worthy to me. If this was something that I am the woman and I'm expecting my man to protect me and defend me, and he doesn't in the life or death situation, how can I trust you in the next life or death situation?
Do those life and death situations happen? Like,
it's all fine and dandy until they do.
Yeah.
Driving your car down the road is all fine and dandy until you get in an accident. Everything is always fine until it isn't.
Yes.
And this is one of those clear moments where it is no longer fine. And yeah, maybe you go through life and this never happens to you again. Maybe you go through life and it happens to you in 5 more different situations. You would never know. But I feel like that attraction there is gone. And it's just replaced with an ick.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get her side. I get her perspective. I'm just saying,
for you,
for me,
yeah.
I don't think it would be as big of a deal. And I feel like this isn't like a right or wrong, black or white answer. Like anybody, it's just what you value in your relationship. Like if you value that protection and you expect that protection.
I feel like it's also very hard to probably say what I would do in that situation, but never been in that.
Yes.
Like I feel like it's very hard to have that perspective, because
it's easy to say, yes, I'll stand there and protect you and defend you in front of this dog, and I will put myself in front of you. But like in reality, like who knows how you're going to react? Like
also, you've never been attacked by a dog.
No.
So you almost don't have the perspective of how scary that is.
Yeah.
I have been attacked, and I've been bitten by a big dog that seems crazy, and it is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So, it's not divorce worthy to you right now because you've never been in that situation. Potentially, if you had, say you were me and you'd been in that situation when you were 18 and been attacked, you could feel differently about it right now.
Yeah.
Because you had that trauma. So
it's hard to give our opinions on this one.
Exactly. Me being attacked, that's where I feel like I have more understanding for her perspective of it. Not to mention she's trying to save 2 little children's life.
Yeah, yeah.
Freaking crazy. There's an update.
Oh, okay.
Update. For everyone worried about my mental health, I did get through an appointment with my work yesterday. Because I decided I really needed it, I labeled it high priority. However, it felt like it was just a preliminary meeting. She said she wanted to get me to feeling a bit more comfortable because I was visibly tensing up whenever I started talking about it. And she even noticed it through the video chat. Last night, I also told my husband I needed space. I apologized that I don't have any more update on our relationship than that. I wasn't as nice as I wanted to be. He argued and I didn't want to leave. It's my house. But I told him I just didn't want to look at him, that I couldn't look at him. He cried, and I hate that I feel apathetic towards it. I haven't slept well, so I'm just not sure if I'm overly tired or if I'm still shaken. I was also emotionally exhausted after the appointment, so that might have added to it. I got a few questions about his sister and her husband, so I thought I'd answer. They aren't speaking to him. I don't know when it happened. I was definitely out of it at the hospital and while I was getting the stitches and everything. But I do think after I was done blubbering and trying to explain how something so terrible happened to their little girl under our watch, they apparently asked him where he was. I still haven't talked to him about where he went, so I don't know. However, it clearly didn't satisfy them. His niece just got out of the hospital yesterday, so that really triggered everything and a lot happened. I had sent flowers, a bear, and this one toy thing that she'd been asking about. I didn't go to the hospital though. I was scared seeing me would make her nervous. But his sister and her husband sent me flowers too, and it made me bawl again. I'm just a frickin' mess, honestly. The father sent me a long message that I haven't been able to get through, but is the sweetest thing anyone's ever sent to me. He also sent me a $1,000 Visa card. I literally thought I was reading the amount wrong. They are good people, and I still feel terrible. I couldn't have done more for her. Everything's just replaying in my head. Anyway, I obviously haven't looked into filing yet, but I am not against the idea of it, and it really did help me feel better about wanting to divorce over this. I know fight or flight can't be helped, but now I think I realize that it's okay not to be with someone who would leave you behind. I think I can say I'm a fighter. I want a fighter with me. Maybe he'd be better off with a runner instead too. Then he at least wouldn't be leaving someone behind. I don't know. It feels like I'm done, but I'm just a mess right now, so I'm glad to have some space. Thank you for everyone making me feel like I wasn't being ridiculous, though. I think it will always feel like it should be multiple issues that tear a marriage apart, unless it's infidelity or something. And it's like I know he may not have meant to betray me, but he still did, whatever his reasoning. I'm not sure when I'll be speaking to him, but I will try to update then.
Is the niece okay?
It seems like it. Like
okay.
I think she just got bit on her arm.
Okay.
She got stitches. But like, okay, a pitbull, German Shepherd, Rottweiler, any of those are like big sized dogs. Mm-hmm. Like it's not like a little Frenchie bit you or whatever. Those are big sized dogs that would literally tear a 6-year-old apart.
Yeah.
I've been bit by a Rottweiler when I was 5. I have a scar dimple on my my chin. There's a scar, I think, underneath my eyebrows that I can't see anymore. And then when I was 18, 17, I've been bit by German Shepherd. I got marks on my arms, my legs, on top of my head. Like I have those bite marks. So like they could tear you apart if they bit your throat, cut your jugular open. Like if she wasn't there, she says maybe he needs somebody who's also a runner too. Imagine both of them ran away from those 2 children. If you have a crazed dog like that, both of those kids would be dead. Yep. No doubt in my mind. A pit bull like that would absolutely tear through little children that can't defend themselves or run away or anything. Not to mention an infant in a bassinet. Would just bite and shake their head and rip through everything. So, yeah, I mean, if I was like sister-in-law and brother-in-law, like, but I'd be, you're not just a babysitter. You are the guardian. You're there to protect them against anything. An animal, a hurricane, a flood. Like, you are there to protect them against anything that could arise. A freaking meteor out of the sky, bro. You see it coming for you. You grab the kid and run. You don't just let it land on the kid. Yeah. I don't know. Like, you're there to, you need to protect them.
100%.
So, I'm on the divorce side. This hurts me. I'm very much of the defender. Need to defend.
I was just reading the top comment on this one. I don't know if you want to read it, but it made me think differently.
Him closing the gate behind you would have played out in my mind every time I looked at him. You locked the dog in there with you.
I forgot about that.
Like, where did you go? That's the way. Like, where did you go? You ran out the gate and you closed the gate behind you. Like
you literally trapped them in there.
Yeah. What, even like whether you're
to
like
save himself.
Yeah, even whether you are supposed to be the quote unquote man of the household and protector or the wife or anything like that, like you could be looked at, no matter who does it, your partner in life running away, whatever your sex is, however the relationship is, however it's balanced, like that could be an ick to anybody. Yeah. The fact that I'm over here struggling for my life and you just ran away to save your own hide.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I guess it doesn't really matter what gender.
No, it doesn't matter what gender.
Yeah. I think, yeah. I forgot about the part of him closing the door because I feel like that makes a huge difference. That's like, you weren't just running away in panic. You literally, like...
You made it so the dog couldn't follow you.
You made a
and
conscious
was stuck
decision to close that door and trap them in there to save yourself.
Yep.
That's disgusting.
Yep.
That's so much worse than just running away on instinct.
Exactly. Running away is one thing. And then that. Being so thinking about yourself that you didn't think about what happens when I do that.
Yeah.
And that goes to like, those moments are what show you the core of
a
people.
person, yeah.
It goes down to their instinct, their core of who they are at their center of what they're going to be for the rest of their life, who you're going to be with for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. It reminds me back to that story we had where the kid was on the date with his girlfriend and her dad tried to like scare him with a mask and stuff and he punched him in the face. He punched back. He went to protect his girlfriend. He could have ran. Mm-hmm. And that is the fight or flight moments. Like, what do you do in those situations? Do you fight or do you run? Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. That's who you are at your core. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The fact that there was his niece and nephew there and like she had enough to like, the dog was biting his niece or the dog was actively biting the niece when he ran away. Mm-hmm. His niece would have been screaming as he ran away.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your gender is. Yeah. Honestly, at that point, it doesn't even matter. You're an adult and your niece is being attacked by the dog. I don't care who you are. Any adult that runs away from that situation, I can't respect.
Yep. I agree now.
Shit hits the fan. Shit has been hitting the fan.
The fan had been hit.
The fan has been splattered.
All right, moving on. Comes from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not giving my sister my wife's clothes? My wife was a corporate lawyer and mediator. She had some very nice work clothes. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and was gone in 2 years. The last 6 months of her life were hell. My sister Sarah didn't do jack shit for us during that time. My wife never liked her, and I don't like her. She is a selfish cow. At my wife's wake, she started asking about my wife's clothes, and I brushed her off. She wanted to pick out a few pieces to, quote-unquote, remember my wife by, and I ignored her. It's been 6 months, and I've attended my mom's birthday, but I'm not in the mood to deal with people. Then Sarah comes, asking about my wife's clothes. I told her my wife wanted me to donate them to this women's shelter, and she often helped. It will help women in need with their own court cases, court appointments, and job interviews. My sister Sarah said that my wife was even selfish in death. I asked her what the fuck did she mean, and she started going off on how my wife always thought she was better than her, and it's not fair that the clothes are going to charity and not to family. I told my sister I would rather see my wife's clothes lit on fire than on her back. My sister started crying, and my mom came over to see what was wrong. My mom told me to be easy on my sister because she was taking my wife's death hard. The fucking insanity of that coming out of my mom's mouth made me grab my gift and leave. My mom acts like I had to ruin her birthday by being melodramatic, but I cannot believe their emotional blackmail towards me over fucking clothes that they have no right to. Am I the asshole?
No, I would have said the exact same thing. I'd rather light them on fire than see you have them. Like, you're a piece of shit. Fuck you.
So selfish.
So selfish.
Like,
bro, I would have lost my shit. The fact that you even asked for the clothes at all, one time, not to mention at the wake or whenever. Like, no, it's just so inappropriate.
It's so inappropriate.
If he wants to give them to you, he'll bring that up to you. But like at the wake, like, fuck off.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, like, being at the wake, like, giving your condolences and then being like, hey, you know, what are you doing with her clothes? I'll take them. That's absolutely absurd.
I would lose my shit. I would be going off.
I would cause a scene there.
I would be going off.
You're not welcome here.
No. Get the out. Fuck out of my house.
Get out of my face. Like, oh my God. Like,
your mom wants to be on the side with his sister. Fuck
Mom
off.
just wants peace. And
no, that's not peace. That's not fucking peace.
No, I agree. Like,
fuck off. my sister's taking my wife's death hard. It was my fucking wife.
Exactly.
Fuck off. Oh.
I told you this episode was going to be.
Get riled up over here.
Top comment. Your wife was better than your sister, who has the character of, well, you said it, a selfish cow. I'm very sorry for your loss. You are not being melodramatic. You are reacting to something ugly and insensitive in a very normal way. I think you might be wise to avoid your mother and sister for a while. Your sister may be forever. Her character isn't going to change, and she has no qualms about saying terribly hurtful things if she thinks they further her selfish goals. If there's a group of young bereaved spouses in your area, maybe through your religious denomination or through a community mental health center, you might find people there who are sensitive to what you're going through and can offer you kind of peer support. Donate those clothes in your wife's name to the charity she supported as soon as you're ready to do so. Block your sister and your mother. The world is full of kind, supportive people who will offer you more of what you need than your blood relatives. Please walk away. You've already gone through enough. Not the asshole.
Yep. My sister ever tried to mess with me again, I would take one piece of clothing and I would light it on fire and send it to her in a video. Then I would donate the rest.
Yeah. Blood boiling. This was a blood boiling one.
Yep, that was. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
This one's coming from AITAH. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that my ex-wife was, quote, tighter?
No.
I, male, 39, hate it when people make fun of other people. I mean, I know that people can gossip and talk among friends about other people, and I am guilty of that too. But I got very upset when my new girlfriend, female, 32, started talking about my ex-wife, female, 42. I understand that disliking an ex isn't abnormal or anything, but my girlfriend is obsessed with my ex-wife and always tries to make bad remarks about her when it is just me. I don't care because, again, people gossip and talk shit about others in the privacy of their own homes. But this time, it was at a restaurant with some of her girlfriends and spouses, and then somehow the discussion became about my ex-wife's vagina. Yes, don't ask me how, but they were discussing childbirth and body changes, age, etc., and my ex got dragged into this. My girlfriend was a bit drunk and she was talking too loudly. I hated it and I asked her to stop talking about it. But when I get upset, she doubles down because she starts thinking, why do you care? Why do you not want me to talk shit about your ex? And she has told me this before. Now, she was talking about how my ex must have a huge one. We have had 2 children together, female 4 and male 2. The girls started laughing and saying, ew. I yelled to stop, but they ignored me. Then my girlfriend told me, why are you so agitated? Did we hit a nerve? I said, actually, no. My ex-wife was the tightest woman I ever had. I don't know how she managed it, but she is very tight. They became silent and my girlfriend started crying. Then the woman started yelling at me that I'm the asshole, and their spouses were between amused and scared. Then one of the spouses said, yeah, I don't think childbirth really affects this. I haven't noticed the difference with women I've dated. I felt gratitude, but I was still being yelled at, and my girlfriend has not called or answered me since Saturday. I am so tired, but am I the asshole?
No.
No, you don't think so?
No. Okay, maybe this one, sometimes it's okay to be the asshole. The pillow. But, it's warranted.
Right? I feel like that's karma.
Those girls are so catty and mean.
Yeah.
Those are not girls. Why are you putting down another woman's appearance or physical anything just because they are exes of your current relationship? Like, that is so disgusting.
Yeah.
Women who talk badly about other women who've done absolutely nothing to them are like the worst types of people.
I mean, I'm already like, I don't like people who talk shit about people behind their back. And that, well, okay, let me rephrase that. I don't mind people who talk shit about people behind their back because that's whatever. I don't like people who talk shit behind people's back and then act like they're their friend when they talk to them. Yeah, I guess maybe she does in the act. This is still above and beyond, like he said, above and beyond people talking shit behind people's backs.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
And it's like, you're talking shit about my ex-wife. You know I was married to her. You know we have 2 kids together. Like,
obviously it's going to hit a nerve.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how that relationship ended. If
insulting her is insulting me.
Exactly. No, that's never okay. I just hate when women put other women down to, like, make themselves feel better. Like, that's just so catty and mean. Like, I hate that.
Top comment. This whole situation sucks. If you're co-parenting with your ex, your girlfriend should know that part of dating you means having a cordial or at least neutral relationship with her, at least in front of you. She's way across the line. This is not somebody you can have around your kids. She's ghosting you? Cool. Save the trouble.
Sayonara.
Yep.
Deuces.
But I'd be ghosting you. Why are you worried about her ghosting? Why are you worried about her ghosting you, bro? You should be ghosting her.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have made that comment, got up from a restaurant, left,
never
ghosted.
Speak to you again. Yeah. All right,
Moving on.
This one comes from, am I wrong? Was I wrong to say what I said to my niece for trying to guilt trip me out of a gift I was given? My sister and her youngest kid, 12 female, came to stay with me for 8 days at the condo I'm staying in, off and on while working on a project at a popular tourist destination. Since I am working with the company, I was able to allow her to do some typically costly things for free throughout their stay. During the time I was with them, I witnessed multiple instances of my niece begging, whining, guilt-tripping, and trying to wear down my sister until she would give in and buy her some expensive, unnecessary item. My sister laughed and told me this child has so many toys that floor-to-ceiling storage on 3 walls of her bedroom cannot contain them all. She would also insist on ordering exotic/unfamiliar food that her mother would warn her was not to her liking, wind up disliking it to no surprise, and then demand my sister's or even my food, or just reach over and take things off of our plate without even asking. If my sister bought herself a drink, my niece would whine until she got another ice cream. If my sister needed to get a hat for the son, my niece demanded a stuffed toy. Sometimes she would decide she liked the thing my sister had more than the one that she had, like with her food, and would harass her until she was given both items and my sister had to buy another. My sister and her husband do pretty well, but they're not millionaires or living debt-free. So this was bugging me. Also, my sister repeatedly giving in was bugging me because, as a child, I was repeatedly told to hand various belongings or treats over to her, ironically, because she was younger and a girl, and simply wanted them. Not that I agree, my father was mostly to blame for that. It gave me a complex, I guess, because I don't like receiving gifts. It makes me feel guilty. I feel I don't truly need/deserve them, and it's better to give them to others and save your money. I have no problem giving gifts, but I always feel awkward and guilty taking them from others. So my sister begs me to choose something from this place I've been hanging around for months over the past year or so, and I couldn't think of anything I wanted, other than this one hat I had seen that I could easily have bought for myself or just asked somebody from the company for it if I wanted to do that, but it was a cool hat. I liked the design on the front of it. I just showed her the hat and she bought it for me. At the same time, she bought my niece a backpack. She had repeatedly asked my niece if she wanted a hat as well, and she was fixated on the cheap backpack instead, so she got that. As soon as we left the area, I got the hat out and put it on, and my niece immediately announced that she really liked that hat. I thanked her. We were heading back to the condo, and it was their last night. The entire ride back, she carried on about how she thought my hat was awesome, and then she began to tell us how she found the backpack uncomfortable. I knew what she was up to, and I just smiled cheerfully and played dumb. I could have sent her another identical hat in the mail, but I was not going to give in to her again. I would have never put up with this kind of behavior out of either of my kids, who are now college-aged, and it was making me angry. Finally, the next morning, as I was helping them pack, and she was still carrying on about the hat and how she wished she had chosen that, etc., I turned around and tossed it up the hall towards the room she had been staying in, where her stuff was still all over the floor, and I said, "Okay, fine, just take it." I said it in an angry, exasperated type of tone. I said I've never seen anybody so hellbent on making sure that nobody else can have anything nice but them. I told her her behavior was both greedy and entitled. That's all I got out before my sister came storming out of her room and yelled, "Stop calling my kid names." I told her I wasn't calling her names. I was accurately describing her behavior. I said at this point, I'm convinced the assumption here was that I was just going to give her the hat. But I'm not, because how she acts is downright disgusting, and could she ever imagine either of my kids behaving like that? How does she think I would react? My sister apologized in a "I'm sorry you see it that way" type of manner, but hasn't spoke to me since she left. My niece was angry and refused to talk to me at all until they were gone. She said some sarcastic crap under her breath that I chose to ignore. I feel I was 100% within reason to say what I said. I'm curious what internet strangers think. Sorry, this is long as hell.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm on your side, bro. Don't get me wrong. I feel the same way that you feel, but, like, it's someone else's kid. But at the same time, like, you're staying in my house. You are here at my graciousness. But, okay.
I see what you mean.
The part where I have a slight problem with this is the fact that, like, they came to stay with you for 8 days. Mm-hmm. This is the last day. So for a full week, this kid has been pissing you off. You're talking about all of the incidences that your niece is doing that you wouldn't have raised in your kid, and it's pissing you off. So maybe a conversation should have been had with your sister.
I don't think it would have changed anything.
No, but it's like, I feel like, me personally, I would be like, "Hey, Madison."
It's also not your place, though.
Not your place. No. But here's where it could be your place. Hey, I've raised kids. This is not how I raise my kids. I'm going to be honest. Your daughter, my niece, is slightly getting on my nerves with all of this greedy spoiledness that I'm not on board with. If you want to raise her kid like that, that's completely fine with you. But I am letting you know that it's getting on my nerve, and I'm not going to be steamrolled like you are. Mm-hmm. And he should have just never given him the hat. But he freaked out and threw the hat and said, "Fine, if you just go to the hat, he's getting annoyed." So I would have already had this conversation like, "Hey, if you want to spoil your daughter and stuff, your kid, you're raising her your way. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. I don't want to be around it. And I'm not giving into it. But if that's what you want, that's great." I don't think he should have freaked out and reacted like this, but I would not have given in the hat.
Yeah. Maybe if he did have a conversation with his sister prior to this, the mom could have noticed that the kid was doing this
and said something to her.
Yeah,
like,
you need to stop.
It's fine when you do it to me. I deal with it, but can't treat uncle like that.
Yeah,
can't do that around uncle.
Yeah.
So
yeah, a conversation maybe could have.
Yeah,
had a different outcome here.
He kind of blew up on a 12-year-old, which is unfair. You should be blowing up on the mom if you're gonna blow up on someone.
Yeah,
I
guess. Top comment. I don't think you're wrong. Your sister had done her child a disservice by indulging her entitled and selfish behavior. Your niece has finessed her manipulation of your sister. I wouldn't have them over anymore. Your generosity is not appreciated.
Yeah, it's not appreciated. And your family, so it's not really your place to do it. Let real world set this kid straight.
Yeah.
Kid's only 12. Mom can only protect her for so long. And you as a family, like, you should, I think you should say your piece to your sister and be like, "Hey, the kid's not getting away with it with me, but you can't really be freaking out on a kid and calling them the way you did it." When the kid asks you for something, I don't think there's anything wrong for saying, "Hey, no, the answer is no. Mm-hmm. You asked, and the answer is no." Mm-hmm. And when the kid says, "Why not?" then you could say, "Well, your behavior has been extremely greedy and entitled. So I'm sorry, I am not rewarding that behavior." You can say those same words, I feel like, in a different tone.
Yeah, I think he was just at his wit's end.
He was at his wit's end.
Straw that broke the camel's back.
That broke the camel's back. And I think he was in the wrong for his reaction. Like, I think he could say the same words in a different situation and it would be okay. But it's the emotions that were behind this, which is his own fault for not saying something to his sister earlier. So I just don't... Yeah, I'm not on board with his freak out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got his back. I'm on his side. I wouldn't be angry with him. I'd be like, "Don't worry, bro, I still got you. Maybe next time we just handle it like this." But yeah, I think
sometimes it's okay to be the asshole, I think.
No, I'm not on board with that one this time. No.
So you think he's wrong?
I think he's in the wrong. Yeah. I think he's just in the wrong for his blow up in this situation. Like he should have handled it better. He went through raising 2 kids. He also needs to raise his sister.
Yeah.
He needs to raise his sister on how to raise her.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, it'd be like when we go to like Christmas dinners and stuff like that. Sometimes I see like my cousins are like spoiled and stuff. Like it is what it is. But it's
Your
like
cousins are not spoiled.
Okay.
Your cousins are literally
Sometimes
angels.
we see that your cousins are spoiled. So.
Facts.
Okay. I can't. There's not my place to do anything like that.
Yeah.
But if that kid comes to me and he wants something out of me, I don't think there's anything wrong for me to tell him no and for him to give him my reasons of why he didn't get a yes out of me.
Yeah.
That's life. And let the world set this 12-year-old straight when she gets older and she's still more spoiled and stuff. You can let the world set her straight.
Yes and no. It's also like, I feel like this is the full responsibility of the mom, though.
Yeah.
Like,
but if you've said your piece to the mom, there's nothing else you can do.
No, I know. You're saying, like, let the child, like, learn for herself in the real world. But I feel like at that point, it's not fair. It's like your mom set you up for failure.
Okay, but it's still...
I know, you're just saying, like, the reality of it is, like...
You can ask your sister, and you can be like, hey, this is my parenting style.
Yeah.
Like, do you want help?
Yeah.
Do you need help?
Yeah.
But I'm also letting you know, when it comes to my decision, if she tries to ask me for things, she's not going to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm going to be telling her why. But do you need help? You need help.
Yeah.
You need help. Do you want the help? I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
But I don't feel like it's your place. If the parent wants to spoil the kid, your sister wants to spoil the kid, there's nothing. If Madison ends up spoiling Andrew and raising him with the things that I don't agree with, that's not my place.
Exactly.
My place is whether I decide how much input I want to be in the life. Mm-hmm. If Madison ends up, raising him the things that I don't agree with, that's her choice to do. And then I have my choice of whether or not I want to help babysit, whether or not I want to come visit. Those are my choices.
That is true.
But if Madison signs him up for a school that I don't like and I think he should have went to this school, that's not my choice. Yeah. That doesn't matter. They get to raise how they want, and if he's growing up to be spoiled and I don't like how he's acting, I would tell Madison, be like, hey, what's going on here? Don't you think this is a little bit spoiled? And if she's like, no, that's it. That's how I want to raise my kid. That's like, all right, that's your choice. I will now choose whether or not how much I want to come visit.
Yeah.
That's the choice that I have.
Yeah.
I will choose whether or not I want you to let you stay in my condo for 8 days.
Yeah. You can only control what is within your control.
Yeah, it's not your kid.
Yeah. All right.
That's all I got.
All.
That's it. That's it for that story. You got any life updates?
Life updates. Did we?
I don't know. Yesterday we went to my dad's house, like we said, and we saw little baby Andrew, and he was just as cute as ever.
Oh my god, he looks
he's
so different.
It's been 3 weeks since we last saw him.
He looks so much bigger.
Oh, he's so much bigger. His face is filling out. It's not. Yeah. It's still baby chubby, but it's slightly less baby chubby.
Yeah,
he's getting a little bit more defined than it was last time.
Yeah, he's a cutie patootie.
Yeah, Liz got us Harry Potter Monopoly.
We played Monopoly. It was a lot of fun.
It was actually a lot of fun compared to the original Monopoly.
I'm not familiar with Harry Potter lore, but it was still fun. It was a lot of fun. I know, your family loves Harry Potter.
We should have gave the game to Megan. Megan is a huge Harry Potter fan. She had the Harry Potter tattoos.
Yeah, she did. She's a true fan. Yeah.
Yeah, and what else happened? I rode my dirt bike. For once.
Yep.
Went up on a Wednesday to my dad at Barrie, went on motocross. Track was prime, guys. It was all midday. Wednesday, track was like this dirt, had just so much moisture in it. There was no dust, wasn't dry. It was moist the whole day. Cloudy day, so there's no sun beating on you. Slightly sprinkling some water, a little moisture as we were going there. During the day, it kind of sprinkled down a little bit, but like 80% of the time, there was no water coming down in the sky, but it was a cloud-filled sky, no rain, so the track was just... It was mint, guys. Anybody rides dirt bikes, it was mint. I need some more motocross friends. But that's not even the issue. I have motocross friends. I just don't have no way to get to them because I live in a condo. downtown Toronto with a little tiny BMW car. I don't have a truck. I don't have room for my dirt bike or anything. It took me an hour and 10 minutes to get to Barrie. It takes me an hour and 20 minutes to get to the farm. I also went and worked on my E36. I'm getting really close to finishing my hydraulic e-brakes install for drifting, but it takes me so long to go, and then it's almost 2 hours to get home. I am so excited to leave Toronto and go to our new property that we are going to be building an hour and a half away from downtown Toronto in the country with my own garage. I can have my dirt bike and have a truck. I can go to like dirt bike tracks. I can do things without having to drive and without having to waste 4 hours of my day. I'll be able to do things. I'm excited for that.
I'm not. There's no Starbucks where we're going.
Yeah, we did look that up. There's the closest Starbucks is like a 45-minute drive. That's good for us though. We need to not eat takeout so much. We need to not get Starbucks so much. We need to like.
No.
We need to eat healthier.
Not I.
We'll put a big pantry in there with like one of those grandma freezers that like either in the back of the houses, like just solo freezers, big ones.
Yeah. I
also did a lot of reading since our last episode on the pay gaps.
It would have been 2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago on the pay gaps. And I would just like to say that while originally my point was that legally, I believe it is a rule in Canada and the States. Not everywhere is that rule. And just because something is legal doesn't matter if it. And there's not just discrimination against, I guess, men and women. And it's something like people have said. It's very hard to prove. And I am a biased white male over here who only sees things from my perspective. And that people see things from different perspectives, and it's difficult not only for women but also for people of color as well, of gender pays and fighting for that equal pay. And it's not always about necessarily I think what more of what I was trying to say was when people are in the same job positions, but even that when people are in the same job positions, they shouldn't be discriminated against. But that's still something that's a trend changing, where it always depends on who the people are, who's the hiring manager. Like, it's the bias of like the hiring manager could be who they are, their bias, and they think, oh, I could try and give this person a lower job offer because of gender or race. They could, or, and it will take a while for our system to get to the point where the people who are in charge of hiring have grown up on a different belief system and will treat each other fairly. I think the humans are heading towards that, and maybe in the next 50 to 100 years it won't be an issue anymore, because hopefully the people in the hiring positions, people in the HR department.
Yes. That's why it's so important to have a diverse workforce, I feel, because like everyone needs to be represented. And like years ago, it was mostly like white males in these high paying jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very important to have.
And those high paying roles are usually the people who are in charge of hiring the lower people as well. So it's all about who are in those roles.
So yeah, we just wanted to talk about that gender pay gap.
I have learned a lot.
A lot of people did reach out saying like this did in fact happen to them and is still happening, whether it's illegal or not where you live. People get away with it. And
exactly.
We didn't want to invalidate you guys.
So yeah, I have read a lot and I've learned a lot.
So thank you for providing those resources to us.
We appreciate it, and we appreciate your support.
Yes. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, guys, for supporting us on Spotify. Don't forget, YouTube, early access to the episodes. Membership gives you early access. Like and subscribe. What else should they do, Teresa?
Join our Patreon.
Please.
Denver already mentioned, we come out with weekly episodes. And thank you all to those newbies that have joined recently in the last month. There's a lot of new people that just joined, so thank you for coming over. If you've been thinking about it, like, oh, I'm near the edge, I've almost finished all of your episodes, I need more, come over to Patreon.
How many bonus episodes we got over there now?
15?
Like 15.
So
wild.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thanks to our sponsors for coming on board, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
We got some surprise guest hosts coming up next week, so stay tuned for that. Theme for the next week is gonna be It's a Wild Ride. With that, we'll see you later.
Bye.